Welcome back, everybody, and look what we have today. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise. For the first time in a few months. I stopped working on this series back in March when I began the Minnesota Twins franchise and I had my Arkansas State and Snowhawks series going on the main channel. We had won a Super Bowl at last behind one of the greatest seasons ever, led by Freddie Lashley during his rookie season. And where I left off with this series didn't wrap things up, and I intended to come back to give this series a conclusion. That's what I'm here to do today. We are back on the Steelers franchise. I'm getting familiar with this roster again and remembering just how fun this team was once we finally had it all come together. It only took 10 years. This was a long rebuild. And I basically stopped doing the series when we had a 23-year-old quarterback who still has more of a story to be told. So what we're going to do here is take this team into the future where I continue to manage the roster, make moves, and try to get this team back to another Super Bowl. This is a really fun and really good team. Now, the exact moment where I left off was the end of the 2035 season that saw us get knocked out of the postseason in the wild card round, ending our title defense. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do all this in one video. It may take multiple, but the plan is to basically go rebuild style now into the future, managing the team, doing a lot of simulating. If something really interesting pops up, especially if it's a playoff run, then we could watch some more and see if this team has what it takes to capture another title. I've gotten questions now for months if I would come back to this series, and the plan for me was always to wrap it up in this kind of a way. For those of you that were hungry for more of the Steelers franchise, I hope you enjoy the video. Freddie Lashley is one of the most unique players to come across the channel, and I've done a lot of different series. But no player has ever shown up as a rookie and changed a team the way he did. A team that struggled for way too long, waiting for the right quarterback to come along. Lashley was outstanding as a rookie, took a step back during his second season, becoming more turnover prone, less efficient, and the Steelers could not get out of the first round of the postseason. We did have the highest scoring offense in the league, and our offense is elite, but we gave up the second most passing yards and the second most points as well. So I know what I want to do with this first offseason because I left myself a note like 4 months ago. The pass defense has to get better, and the best cornerbacks on this team are Josh Charleston and Calvin Hitchens. Now, when you get into the postseason and you get these boosts, like everything is manipulated, so these are not truly like 90-plus rated players. Josh Charleston is the number 19 ranked cornerback, and Calvin Hitchens is the number 17. My top want going into this next offseason was to sign or trade for a significant cornerback upgrade, and I left myself a note with the player in mind. Before we get started with this first offseason, let's get a little familiar again with this roster. I had a fun time going through the depth chart and remembering how everything had come together. So, you've got Freddie Lashley, and he is outstanding. In the backfield, Cole Baldwin. Man, what a draft pick he was. Baldwin has been our most efficient running back, a big play waiting to happen, and now it looks like this backfield is ready to truly become his. You got Sean Mickens there, who has been our lead running back for a number of years, but at age 28, a lot of these guys start to take on more of a timeshare in the backfield, and Mickens is maybe not as good as Baldwin at this stage. At receiver, Bud Cage, man. The trade to get Bud Cage paid off in an awesome way for us. Height, weight, speed, big play receiver. But who is the next big thing? We're hoping that alongside Freddie Lashley, it is Dom Roberts. who in 2 seasons hasn't truly broken out yet. He had nearly 700 yards as a rookie, about the same this past year, but only played in 9 games with various injuries. This offensive line is very solid with 3 superstar players and 2 star dev guards. And you've got Antoine Westbrook as the superstar X Factor tight end at 28 years old. There's a lot of good things going for the top offense in the franchise. The defense is very strange because we were first in sacks but had a bad pass defense. Now, how does that even make sense? You've got Roderick Barber here, the superstar X Factor, an early draft pick who finally saw success eventually with this team and has always been a dominant pass rusher. I just don't think the secondary is nearly good enough and perhaps needs a standout corner. I did make a trade to bring in a standout safety in Brendan Leary. Think I got him from the Atlanta Falcons, but it wasn't enough to change this defense in the way we needed. And then the linebacker situation is outstanding with Manu Andrade, Rakeem Kemp, but Joaquin Castro, who was the defensive rookie of the year 2 years ago. We got the offensive and defensive rookies of the year in the same class. Joaquin Castro in 2 seasons has already solidified himself as perhaps the game's best young linebacker. How this team gave up so many points is still kind of mind-boggling, but making sure that doesn't happen again is the top goal of the offseason. And then making sure Freddie Lashley has everything he needs to have a season that's more akin to his rookie year than his second season where things took a step back. The run game looks very good. The offensive line's outstanding. Now, the receivers outside of Dom Roberts are getting up there in age, so there might be a chance at some turnover there and probably a need to draft somebody. And if we keep this pass rush top tier, then I think we can figure things out in the secondary. At least I hope. We need a playmaker out there. Here are the players on expiring deals to get the offseason started, and we have $145 million in cap space. Right tackle, Nick Christmas. Not much interest in coming back. Roderick Barber, as he is declining but still a great player. Manu Andrade, not interested. Josh Charleston has an option decision. Sterling Peterson, Calvin Hitchens. He's actually a free agent, and I'm ready to move on from him. We offer a 3-year deal to Christmas, but he turns it down. A franchise tag would be $26.4 million. That might not be a bad idea. $40 million roughly for Roderick Barber. We're going to offer this. He's been the face of our pass rush, and he's going to test free agency. So who do you tag in this instance then? Barber would be a $46 million tag, and I think is the more valuable player. We are going to pick up the option on Josh Charleston and see if he's able to take more of a leap. And I think we have no choice but to tag Roderick Barber and not risk losing him on the open market. We'll get a deal done with blocking tight end Sterling Peterson on a modest 2-year contract. And everybody else we're going to let walk into free agency. Cesar Castillo, I remember enjoying the bit of playing time he had with us, filling in for injury. Cassius Rice. We're probably looking for a QB2 that might be a little bit younger. Might need a safety with Brian Branch hitting again. Oh, here we go. Cameron Milner. Yeah, I think we're going to want to keep him around if we can. I think he's got a decent backup quarterback skill set. And he too wants to test. The offseason begins with an obvious need at right tackle, safety, and certainly cornerback. Let's see if my past self helped me out with the draft class prep. I was looking at edge rushers and wide receivers. I think that makes sense. We need another receiver that's younger and eventually a replacement for Roderick Barber. Really good edge rushers at the top that are probably going to go way before we're on the clock. I see some good tackles as well. Potentially you could get one in the first round. We have some values as well at wide receiver. How about Glenn Sharp, round 1 talent, a day 3 guy, but kind of locked into a slot role with a bunch of weaknesses that'd be tough to fix. Rashard Robertson is a playmaker, also has a couple of big weaknesses, but he's a really strong athlete. Can you make it work with all those F grades? And then I have some talent grades at safety. Some guys that might be available in round 1 when we're on the clock. Looking at the age of this roster, only 2 players over 30 years old. They're both on the defensive line. We have veterans along the offensive line, tight end, then Sean Mickens, and wide receiver. So let's get to free agency then and see if the player I had in mind is even available. So the player we're looking for here is not in the free agent pool. I really wanted Deontay Rushing. 30-year-old cornerback, superstar X Factor, and a top 10 cornerback, excellent in zone coverage. So if we're going to make it work, it has to be through a trade. What do we have for picks this year anyway? We select at 23, don't have a second round pick, but then have picks in the 3rd round, 2 in the 4th, a 5, and a 6. Okay, so they had tagged Deontay Rushing. That's why he didn't hit free agency. So we have swung a deal then with the Raiders, and we've traded them running back Sean Mickens and a 2nd round pick next season. I looked at their needs, and running back was high on the list, and they liked Mickens individually more than Josh Phelps. And when we already have Cole Baldwin playing better than Sean Mickens, made sense to make a deal. So we've already replaced Josh Charleston then. This is the guy I was focused on and I thought would help fix the pass defense for the next year. And we've signed a replacement tackle. While there are at least 9 teams currently trying to sign Christmas, I wanted to take the chance to go after a tackle that nobody else was interested in. Actually, 11 teams were. So we signed Josh Connerly, who is a little bit lower rated, but had a couple edges in a couple different areas. I think he can step in and be a capable replacement. And we've signed a replacement for Sean Mickens. It is Daron Edwards, an 83 overall running back. He had spent time last year with Atlanta, had 670 yards, 3 touchdowns. We missed out on the top safeties in this class. I tried to get Tyrone Rose. He took less to go to the Raiders. And the Falcons already scooped up Eric Gutierrez. And we've now brought back backup quarterback Cameron Milner. I tried to bring back Patrick Stewart. He turned us down. And now we have some offensive line depth. And actually, Tevin Lincoln has an even higher overall than Josh Connerly. So one of those guys can be the starter at right tackle. And we get Dimitri Hargrove. But leaving our team, Calvin Hitchens ends up getting a 3-year deal with the Broncos. Nick Christmas ends up signing a big 3-year deal with the Raiders. And Manu Andrade goes out to the Seahawks. Oh, hey, look, it's Andrew McElroy, who just signed with the Cardinals. And we bring in a backup linebacker. Terrell Ellington has some cover skill. So I think we have plenty of depth there. We already had 3 good starters on roster. We can focus now on the NFL draft. Here's a look at mock draft 5, where quarterback Darnell Harrison may go at number 3, but expect a lot of edge rushers toward the very top, maybe even a running back in the top 10. We'd love to see that. But we're picking down at 23. Not sure a linebacker makes a lot of sense here. But under our selection, you do have some offensive linemen. Maybe a young tackle could make sense. There should be options like Ken Shields, Brendan Barth. And then I think about those safeties that we know have really good grades. So let's get to our first draft of the day then. It's 2036. Steelers pick at 23rd overall. The first player off the board is a pass rusher, Eric Romero. We don't really have the draft capital to work up the board. We gave up picks this year already, and we are down a 2nd round pick next year. So we're letting the draft fall to us. On the clock at 23, we have a few known 1st round talents available. We're going to move back 5 spots with the Dallas Cowboys, picking up a 3rd rounder next year and a 6th rounder this season. Cowboys moved up for a center, and the player I wanted to take is still available. For me, it comes down to Danny Rose or Dylan Garrison at safety. They're so close together. They're the same archetype. Both have B-zone coverage, but Danny Rose, 21 years old, higher man coverage, little bit better athlete and a year younger. We're going to take the LSU safety over the Alabama safety. Danny Rose is our first draft pick of the day, and we get an immediate starter at strong safety. Danny Rose, 18 in true value. He's going to come in with hidden development, 87 speed, A awareness, B zone coverage, A catching. So 2 new secondary starters to help fix this broken pass defense. And now don't pick until late in the 3rd round. Here in the 3rd, I'm going to have to take a chance. I'm not really convinced that Glenn Sharp is a great prospect. His day 1 overall is going to be solid, but I just think that he's not a dominant athlete, doesn't have enough valuable skills. But what if we had the chance to possibly get the next tight end to replace Antoine Westbrook one day? Jose Gutierrez, projected round 3 to 4, 21 years old. Outstanding athlete. We know he has A awareness and B catch in traffic, along with A break tackle. To me, I'll take a chance on this skill set. Gutierrez is our 2nd pick, 135 in true value. He has excellent speed as a reliable pass catcher and played college basketball for 2 years. You're telling me he's 135 in true value, but hidden development. That's fine with me then if he's a lower overall. Now I'm going to take a chance in the 4th round on who I expect to be the best pass rusher available. 21-year-old DeAndre Ellington. He's 6'4", 266, 21 years old, has B power moves, B awareness. I think that's a good fit here in round 4. 177 in true value? You serious? With that awareness and power moves still? He does not have hidden development, only normal. All right, I passed on an Alabama player earlier. We're going to look for some tackle depth here. I don't expect this to be an amazing pick, but it's late 4th round. Jack Barrett from Alabama is our newest. What? 307? I think these A and B awareness players aren't as safe as I originally thought. We're going to draft a running back now. This is my chance to hopefully redeem myself after that last pick. A.J. Fryer out of Clemson. Kind of a speedy receiving back with B break tackle. He's our next selection. It can't possibly be worse. 200 in true value. Hidden development. I'm back. And what about this receiver here, Sergio Wolf, who skipped the combine? He's 6'2", 230. You think he was trying to hide a 40 time? Probably. F injury. B spec catch. B release. It's the 6th round. We know he has day 3 talent. Let's give him a chance. We don't need him to play or anything. 152 in true value. His scouting report says fast enough. Fast enough with normal dev. 89 speed. You should have ran. That would have improved your draft stock. Fire your agent and hire me. Next up, we're going to take a center who was projected to go undrafted. I think might just be a decent backup center with good pass protection and awareness. This pick couldn't possibly be bad. Or 286 in true value. Needs to improve awareness. I told me it was an A. And that, everybody, is my final pick of the day. First draft in a few months. And here's how it turned out for us. 75 overall, Danny Rose, and then no higher than a 68. But I did get a few hidden dev players in there. Danny Rose is the one we hope hits big for us to start. Hidden development, probably plays right away to become our next starting DB. 87 speed, good in zone, pretty well-rounded. Jose Gutierrez, hidden dev at tight end. Not bad in the 3rd round. Needs to develop as a route runner, but has speed, catching, 70 awareness. That could work. And then A.J. Fryer. I know we need some running back depth, so how about Hidden Dev in a later round? That's not bad. I kind of like this skill set for a 66. 66 feels like you're shortchanging the skill set. He has 91 speed, acceleration, 72 catching, 82 juke, 76 break tackle. What about that as a 66? And then Sergio Wolf, he's getting all kinds of boosts, but if he ever grows as a route runner, maybe one day he could develop into a difference maker. So that's our first draft of today's video. I haven't played this game in a few months. I forgot just how slow this entire interface is. All right, guys, looking for the best rookies and undrafted players. Oh, wait a minute. I ended that series a few months ago. Freddie Lashley trying to bounce back from a bit of decline after last season. No more Sean Mickens. Hopefully the run game is still ready to, be really good behind Cole Baldwin as the lead running back. But you never know when you take the hit in overall if the running backs are still going to be productive. A few months ago, I felt like I was actually getting decent at this drill for the first time ever. Let's see how we can do here for Cameron Milner. There's a couple of bullseyes right off the bat. We're getting there. We're getting there. Bang. We got bronze. 2 targets left. Let's go. Hit the inner ring there. This throw. All right, not bad. I haven't done this drill in a few months. That's a silver. So as we go through the future with this team, we'll see if I can put together any more stars that can help this franchise continue to transition into the future and give us a chance at more championships. Here is A.J. Fryer, the rookie running back out of Clemson. We moved on from Sean Mickens and now need to develop a fitting replacement. That was a horrible setup. Bradley Dugans needs to stop blocking the tackle dummies. And will we see a step forward from this pass defense? Danny Rose, now the starting strong safety, was our first round pick. We were 31st against the pass a season ago. And taking this team into the future means replacing some of the best players we've had in the franchise. Jose Gutierrez gives us a chance at replacing Antoine Westbrook, and eventually guys like Roderick Barber will have to be replaced as well. Okay, that was a nasty move that Baldwin just put on Rakeem Kemp. He is that good. Gotta get payback, though. Don't try that again. This is turning into a personal best score in this drill. I have a 16x multiplier. That feels pretty good. Over 100K. 107, 150. At least in 3 preseason games, our pass defense was improved. We'll see where Danny Rose can take his game, as he will start off as the starting strong safety. He's not the highest rated player we could stick there, but by the end of the season should be the best guy. And he's so well-rounded, I think he'll handle this. Just got a nice boost there on the hybrid upgrade. So 78 overall before week 1. This feels pretty solid. Jose Gutierrez, hoping to see enough route running growth to where you could see him actually taking over for Westbrook one day. +2 medium, +2 short. Let's go vertical threat. Take him to a 70. Close to another upgrade where he gets 2 more medium route running. Here are the Steelers' final cuts going into our first season of the day. And here is our roster going into the new season. Freddie Lashley, year 3 gets underway. We're going to play Lincoln as the right tackle. We'll see how the offensive line holds up. Most of our playmakers do return, but Sean Mickens now is gone. Will Cole Baldwin be able to be the guy in the backfield? Defensively, Roderick Barber is now joined by another superstar X Factor and a rookie safety with some upside. Hopefully, Brendan Leary can start making plays. He has very few interceptions in his career, but we bring in a proven playmaker, Deontay Rushing isn't just the top 10 corner, a superstar X factor, but he had 3 interceptions last year and 13 passes broken up, and 3 interceptions the season prior. I don't really see any weaknesses with this team, but the goal is to get back to the Super Bowl and win another championship with Freddie Lashley. Now, how does this season go? Oh, and in case you were wondering, Joe Book is still a starting quarterback in this series, even with quarterback of the future on Jamario Fields. I don't know why that's not breaking a tie here. Oh, they happen to be on the schedule. The Steelers have jumped out to a successful 3-0 start. We're still giving up a lot of points, but we're scoring more, 30.3 through 3 games. We've had a lot of big games against the Raiders in this series. It wouldn't shock me if we're playing a key postseason game later on. This one does go the Raiders' way. They have a 91 overall defense, even after the trade that we made to bring us the top cornerback that they had. Lashley just 1 touchdown and 1 pick against that defense. Sean Mickens runs for 76 yards as the lead running back for the Raiders. And what injuries are going to pop up to force us to make some decisions? Here's a torn labrum on defensive tackle Jalen Dalton, one of our best interior defenders. That means Jonathan Gray becomes the undisputed top guy, and then you've got to play Garrison Huff, Colin Oakley, and test the depth. And this could be the final game that we really see Joe Book start against us. It looks like he's on the decline and is soon to be passed up by their next quarterback of the future. Hey, Justin Guerrero. It's fun remembering all these names after the time that's passed. So, down 11, trying to avoid losing back-to-back games. Joe Book over the middle. He's so good. Always shows up when he's going up against us. I really enjoyed the Joe Book storyline in this series. Of course, the quarterback for Johnny Sampson in the road to glory, making his way into this series. It's kind of shocking I never ended up actually adding him to our team when I did assume it would happen eventually. And I guess there's still a chance that he could be a backup down the road, but he's still a starter. Joe Book trying to continue the Chargers' hot start. Lofts it wide open, but the receiver stepped out of bounds. Steelers score a touchdown and saved their timeouts and got a 2-point conversion. Do you believe, guys, it's a 6-point game? Oh, that's a good run. Not how you want to start this drive off with 9 yards. First down ends the game. It's a long yard to go, and they got it easily. Chargers are going to hand us a second straight loss. Joe Book got us again. Will he still be the quarterback down the road if the Chargers make the postseason? I have my doubts. But good to see Joe Book if that was the final time. I haven't really seen how Cole Baldwin's done in the first 5 games. I know he was battling some wear and tear. But he's at 4.4 yards per carry, and that's pretty successful for a low 80s rated running back. He's always played a bit better than his ratings would suggest, so I think we're okay there. Freddie Lashley, 10 touchdowns, 4 picks, nothing to be alarmed about, despite the 3-2 start. Injuries, though, are popping up, and now we've lost Sterling Peterson, meaning rookie tight end. Jose Gutierrez might see the field a bit more. We have a quarterback breakout storyline taking place here. This is after our next game is a bounce-back win. Where do you think Freddie Lashley ranks among the quarterbacks? Gotta say he's already a top 5 guy, without a doubt. The next game, we go out and beat the Browns 31-10. Lashley throws 19 for 26, 2 touchdowns, 281 yards. That's pretty darn good. I feel like that was a pedestrian performance for me. Come on now, Freddie. The bar's already high. You're clearing it. Wasn't bad, but my standards are higher than that. Freddie Lashley has the mindset the greats all share. That's why I can't wait to see where his career goes. We keep suffering injuries, though, and now Tevin Lincoln is going to miss a couple games. So here at the trade deadline, the Steelers are 5-2, top scoring offense. Defense is improving in terms of yardage, allowing a lot of points, unfortunately. And we currently lead the AFC North. We jump ahead a few weeks, and the Steelers are rolling, putting up a lot of points week in, week out, and the defense seems to be improving as well. With an eye on the future, we have some contracts to sort out as well, and I certainly want to keep around the secondary players. And when I traded for Deontay Rushing, I knew we were a really good re-sign fit. I'll save his for after regression because he is 30 plus. But I do want to sign safety Brendan Leary, and we do sign him to a 5-year extension. We will sign Rakeem Kemp, or attempt to. That seemed like a pretty easy deal. And when you have good offensive linemen under 30 years old, you just try to keep them around. We signed Jamie Kendricks. And this number is plenty friendly on Antoine Westbrook. These cap hits are very reasonable. 3 years. Yeah, let's get that done too. Oh, Freddie Lashley has a dev upgrade on the line in this next game. He's having an outstanding year. He had 72% completion percentage and no interceptions. Is that a success? Wasn't a phenomenal game, but I think it got the job done. Freddie Lashley still has superstar development, apparently. Finishing out the regular season, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have a 13-4 record. They have won the number 1 seed, and the AFC North title has been theirs for a few weeks now. The Raiders and Colts are the only other double-digit winning teams. And the Chargers, despite their 4-1 start, went 3-9 the rest of the way. Freddie Lashley has a 41-touchdown season with just 10 interceptions, successfully putting those struggles of a year ago behind him. He might just be a superstar X Factor when we hit Super Bowl week anyway. We'll see if we have a game that week. Yeah, Lashley taking this step was expected. Cole Baldwin went for 1,164 yards. Lashley added in 5 touchdowns and almost 400 yards rushing. Dom Roberts had his breakout year with 21 touchdowns, nearly 1,200 yards. This was the season we wanted to see him become wide receiver 1. That took place. Clay McDonald, Bud Cage, all good still. Antoine Westbrook, light on the production by his standards, but it's a productive offense with a lot of mouths to feed. Defense now. The ranks looked a lot better. We did not get a lot of interceptions. We got fewer than ever, really. But 2 of them did go to Deontay Rushing. For sacks, Roderick Barber, 15.5. Josh Phelps, 10. Jonathan Gray, 9.5. Jalen Dalton gave us 7. We only allowed 19.8 points per game, successfully improved the defense and the pass defense specifically, while still being the number 1 ranked offense with the number 6 rushing game after moving on from Sean Mickens. Shout out to 9 here for leading the league in passing yards. Marquise McLeod, 18 touchdowns, 2 picks, 2 interceptions with the Cardinals. We haven't seen Marquise McLeod for a while. Did he play the whole year? He did. Had a lot of 1-touchdown games. Evan Lynch, oh man, he was the league's leading rusher. Sean Mickens was 2nd. He outrushed Cole Baldwin. Glenn Toomer, leading receiver with the Rams. Got Joey Riddick there with the Saints. It's so fun seeing these players after a few months away, where I can still remember once I see the names. But we have brought this team back to the postseason again. Last year got bounced in the wild card. This year, don't play in the wild card. Here's the bracket. And we'll get started against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are led by an 89 overall defense. This is the post-Patrick Mahomes Kansas City Chiefs. Keep in mind, their quarterback is Marcus Beverly, who we've seen at many points in this franchise, and he's very solid. Robbie Christie, excellent tight end. But most of their top talent is now along the D-line or in the secondary. It's a good-looking secondary they've put together. Our rookie safety, by the way, Danny Rose, has star development. Became an 81 overall, is getting boosted right now to an 84. The first rounder had 113 tackles, 1.5 sacks, a forced fumble, but has not yet picked off a pass. Last season, the Steelers went one and done. Now they get started as the 1 seed in the division round against the Kansas City Chiefs. And there is Flash himself, Freddie Lashley. What a season. This year might be even better than his rookie year, provided he leads us to another ring. All right, guys, KC is coming to play. They have scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives of the game to go up 14-0. Steelers in a hole early, but a lot of game left, and the most explosive offense in the league is here. It's Cole Baldwin on a gain of 7. Man, it feels good to be calling a game here in this series once again. Here's a run up the middle with Baldwin trying to move the pile. He gets within a yard. Baldwin, 3rd straight carry. He gets the first. Lashley, play action, gets it away. That's complete to Cole McDonald. First down. Running inside. There's a crease. Baldwin across the 30. Again, the fake from Lashley. Dishes it outside. Hey, Bradley Dugan's the fullback. He makes an appearance. Did he just get hurt on that? Lashley beating the blitz, bouncing off Bud Cage. Just hitting one player after another, man. The memories are all flooding back from, the 2 good seasons in this franchise. Lashley connects inside the 10. Dom Roberts. Who you got now? Let's get Antoine Westbrook the football. Guaranteed to happen right here on the next throw anyway. Lashley goes down. 3rd and 6. Look for him. Outside Cage. We'll have to wait for Westbrook. Why is Westbrook off the field right now? Lashley throws. Touchdown. Dropped. Let's run that back. Westbrook's on the field now. Give the fans what they want to see. It is Cole Baldwin! Touchdown! Steelers answer. Hope there's more where that came from. I think that woke him up a little bit. Fast forward, 4th quarter. 21-10 Steelers driving. Still time to go. Running Baldwin again! Man, he's so good. Touchdown Steelers. It's a 1-score game. Wait a minute, though. We ain't done going for 2. Lashley has Roberts. Doesn't see him, but finds the end zone himself. 21-18. All right, we need a stop. 21-18. Kansas City, 3rd and 5. Beverly's hit, and Jonathan Gray will get us off the field. Here's Baldwin getting away from the first man. I'm telling you, there isn't a better 82 overall running back in Madden than Cole Baldwin. 3rd down and 1. Running right now. This is Deron Edwards in the game. Oh, he's trying to power through that defender. He gets to the 21. That would have been Sean Mickens if we didn't trade him. Now Baldwin back in after a playoff, and he's going to take it and drag a defender for 3. 2nd and 7. Caught by McDonald. Now out of the eye. Baldwin. Press to the outside and then gets upfield. A yard shy of the marker. And the Steelers are going to play for the tie with 5 and change to go. Nathan McKee ties it up. All right, D, can you make a play for us now and get the ball back? Beverly still has it. Brought down by Joaquin Castro. All right, here's 3rd down, everybody. Chiefs fake the screen, launch it downfield, 1-on-1, and through his hands. It should have been a catch. And we're getting it back. They scored on their first 2 possessions and only have 1 score since. It's Baldwin. He's got daylight. That's a first down. Stopped at the 42. It's a 100-yard day for Cole Baldwin. Now Lashley hits the pass on the outside. Dom Roberts cuts it up, and we might be in McKee's range already. Flash. Time in the pocket. Completes it to Westbrook at the 33. 3rd and 4. That's not going to get there. So Kansas City is still going to have a chance. McKee now for a 49-yard try to finally give us the lead for the first time. Kick is on its way. And good. But now, Marcus Beverly looks to take the Chiefs down the field and spoil all of this. What a great season the Steelers have had. But the bar is higher than just making it this far. Nice play. Hey, that's the rookie Rose. Changed his number to 29. 4-man rush. Beverly takes the underneath pass, close to the first. Got Danny Rose over the slot there at the bottom. 3rd and 2. Beverly flush. Nowhere to go, but down. And he's sacked by Roderick Barber. We got 2 players through the line that time. You go from 3rd and short, things look favorable, and now season on the line, 4th and 13. Heavy pressure, batted, bobbled, dropped, it's over! Steelers will take this division round game from the Kansas City Chiefs. Wow, they had me for a moment there. 14-0 starting the game, that's not a good feeling, but the Steelers come out on top. Clean game from Lashley, just 6 incompletions. Baldwin, I thought he stole the show. His rushing was outstanding. And the defense didn't start strong, but they sure finished that way. And wouldn't you know, the matchup that decides the AFC champion is us and the Raiders. Sean Mickens, he's their number 1 player right now. Are you serious? It's Sean Mickens and a 32-year-old Ashton Genty. Demario Elliott, he's the quarterback. Adrian Hall, the speedster, the 99 speed guy, ended up on the Raiders. We're all shocked. Brock Bowers, thankfully not at the peak of his game anymore in year 13. Yeah, when I think back to some of the best teams from the earlier time we spent in this series, like the Jaguars had that nasty secondary. The Raiders were always really tough. I didn't check in on that matchup earlier, partially because I knew there was a good chance it wouldn't be our only game against the Raiders, and we'd see Sean Mickens again. And we meet again. Steelers and Raiders. Super Bowl on the line. Let's start us off here in the second quarter. 7-3 Pittsburgh, driving but 3rd and 9. And Lashley gets it out to Dom Roberts for the 1st and goal. 3rd down, Lashley, eyeing the end zone, takes off and runs this in all on his own. Touchdown, Steelers. And here are the Raiders on offense. Play action, and that's going to be thrown to the outside. Wait a minute here. Nick Sherwood. That is not their starting quarterback. I don't know what's going on here. Demario Elliott isn't hurt. He does not have wear and tear. Sherwood, the rookie, is playing. I'm not quite sure I understand what's going on right now. Sherwood back to pass. Downfield and incomplete. Rose over the top of it. By the way, Sean Mickens in the game, number 20. He's going to motion all the way outside on 3rd down. Sherwood, 3rd and 10. Fires down the middle for Brock Bowers. 1st down, Raiders. Now they give it to Mickens, and a great job by Leary. Quick pass in there, speeding away. Holy cow, who is that guy? Raiders get the touchdown from Elijah Fisher. They have a 99 speed receiver. This isn't even their fastest guy. And they just did that to Deontay Rushing, their old cornerback we acquired. Uh-oh, here they come, everybody. Big catch on the drive again for Elijah Fisher. And now set up at the 11. Sean Mickens straight ahead. Gain of 5. Genty in the game, but it's a Sherwood sneak. I got to figure out what's going on here with their quarterback situation. I am so confused. Inside. Mickens! Almost. Mickens, no chance. Oh, he goes down at the 5. What a play, Jalen Dalton. I haven't even had to pull up my depth chart I had for this team. I just remember so much. 3rd and goal, and down goes Sherwood. When you need a play. Roderick Barber is there for you. Josh Phelps in the backfield as well. 27 yards on a 3rd down to Brock Bowers, and the Raiders are trying to take the lead. 3rd and 9. They pick up the pressure and make the tackle, guys. It is 4th down. Raiders got close enough to leave the offense on. And it's Sean Mickens hit by Josh Phelps. He doesn't get it. Defense is kind of in control right now, just 17-13, but here come the Raiders down the field again. Sherwood trips left, facing the blitz, gets it away, and that's going to be close. They went for it on their last 4th and 2 in this area. They'll do it again. They got a 90s backfield here. It's the fullback. Nowhere to go. Not even close. That's Rakeem Kemp. There's daylight. Cole Baldwin. Get a touchdown on this drive, and that might be game. Here's Baldwin again. 5-yard pickup. Throwing. Oh, no. He caught that. It's intercepted. It was intended for Cole McDonald. Kyle Reynolds just came away with the football. Lashley throws quick. Wow, what a clean play. I thought maybe it hit McDonald's hands first. I didn't see it well. We're allowing the Raiders to stay in this. They do need the touchdown. Mickens explodes through the middle. He looked fast. The Raiders' backfield has 2 of the, 5 active leading rushers in our franchise. Genty is number 1, over 15,000 career rushing yards. Mickens has quite a few. He has 5 or 6 1,000-yard campaigns. Castro takes care of that screen pass. Fullbacks in. Mickens behind Sherwood, who throws, finding hole, and he's inside the 20. They're empty. Mickens here lined up at the top of the screen. And Sherwood under pressure. Barber's there again. Is there a more clutch player on this defense than Roderick Barber? And they're kicking. But I still feel like we're going to have to find a way to either kill the clock or score again. 5.5 minutes to play in the game. It's only a 1-point contest. What a play made by Baldwin, getting 5. Baldwin up the middle, breaks through. Throwing to the outside. What a strike. Hauled in by Antoine Westbrook. Baldwin getting through cleanly, spinning his way to the 35, where we should be at least in field goal range. Baldwin up the middle. Hey, if you've never seen this franchise, but for some reason you're actually into this right now and you're wondering why I traded Mickens in the beginning, because this is the Cole Baldwin that we had back when the series went on pause, man. He's been this guy from day one. Baldwin, this time caught in the backfield. It's going to be third down. Lashley looking to make a play, and he's under quick pressure. Timeout Raiders, looking at a 52-yard field goal attempt. Big kick for McKee. Forcing the Raiders to need a touchdown. He gets it away and splits the uprights. So it ends up being no different than the previous game. It comes down to our defense keeping the opposition out of the end zone. What does Roderick Barber have for this final possession? Adrian Hall, the speedster, is in motion. Barber, man, threw a nasty spin at their left tackle as well. Throwing to Mickens. Good catch, securing a first. Throwing up the seam. Great catch into Steeler territory. Four-man rush. Sherwood. He's in trouble and gets rid of it. Sherwood. Barber almost got there. And it's picked off by Joaquin Castro. Leary was in coverage and the ball popped up for the third-year linebacker. And the Pittsburgh Steelers should be moving on to the Super Bowl for the second time in 3 years. Great hit. Brendan Leary. We have punched our ticket back to the Super Bowl. Freddie Lashley will play in his second career Super Bowl in his third season. The Steelers win another banger of a game. And we haven't even needed Lashley to go and do the things he did during the regular season. He had 40 touchdowns. Has a rushing touchdown in this game. We contain Mickens, 3.1 yards an attempt. You know, Sherwood played, from what we saw, what we could gather there, a pretty good game. He hasn't been the starting quarterback for long. They drafted him, made this switch late in this season. I'm not sure there's even precedent for this, but he became the starter in Week 15 after a 21-7 loss. So they did lose 3 out of 5 games after a great start, and that's when they decided, we're going to make the move. And it got them this far. But I don't think I've ever seen the CPU, okay, it's a 5-point overall gap. That's still huge. And remember the Chargers we looked at earlier, it was a tie with Joe Book and Jamario Fields with QB of the future, and yet Book is the starter. So I haven't quite figured out the CPU's logic here. Maybe Joe Book is just irreplaceable. To be fair, he has superstar X Factor development. When did he get that? I don't recall Book ever being an X Factor. When I created him as a prospect, he had star. What a career he created on his own. Outside of our Super Bowl winning season, the story of Joe Book is like one of the best things to come out of this series. Hey, we're a little busy here during Pro Bowl week. Ooh, got me a trophy. We all know who won that. The Steelers now take on the Green Bay Packers in Atlanta for the Super Bowl. Freddie Lashley is now a league MVP. In addition to Rookie of the Year, Super Bowl champion, probably a multi-time Pro Bowler, I'd have to think. Also, Sean Mickens topped Cole Baldwin. He was second. Baldwin was third for top running backs this season. Dom Roberts was named the top receiver. But let's focus up now. We've got the Super Bowl. We wanted to get back here. We didn't take long. Who do the Packers have at this stage? Jake Weber. I do remember him. Think I wanted to trade for him or something. Alec Barber at wide receiver. Scott Holt. I don't see a ton of names I recognize. Like Bobby Crane, I remember him with the Dolphins in this series. And he had a great game against us once, many, many years ago in this series. So he's a legit quarterback. Rodney Cowan, Alec Barber, Matthew Golden's still there. Always fun to see if we have like former players of ours on these teams. They do have Brian Branch. He spent a year with us. I don't think that really counts. Show me the red. Freddie Lashley is now a superstar X Factor, as we all expected. Let's give him a couple upgrades here. What could he possibly need at this stage, though? What is Lashley missing besides more titles? I mean, he's a 98 overall at 23 years old. And in my Twins franchise, I just added somebody that was 23 years old and a 98 overall. That's what it takes to fix these teams that don't go anywhere. Rushing lost his X Factor. That's kind of a bummer, but we're here for one thing and one thing only, everybody. Hey, Oakley's got a superstar. I forgot about him. Let's focus on the task at hand here. Winning another championship. It is a Super Bowl 45 rematch. The Packers, of course, won this game when these two met after the 2010 season. Now Pittsburgh is trying to get that second title in the Freddie Lashley era, and they get the football first. Run back on the return. A nice job by Julius Riley. And here comes Freddie Lashley. 41 touchdowns on the year. Hasn't had to score many in the postseason. Up the middle. First play's a run to Cole Baldwin. 5 yards. Lashley, second down over the middle. Clay McDonald goes down. Baldwin. He couldn't get around him, so he just jumped up. A lot of Cole Baldwin early. Now play action. Here's Lashley on the move to Dom Roberts. To the outside for Bud Cage. You better bring 2 defenders to tackle him. Lashley over the middle. Good catch, Dom. Packers just trying to keep us from getting 6 on this opening drive. Lashley 3rd and 12. Has time. Fires wide open. McDonald. Here's Baldwin up the middle. 1 yard from scoring. 3rd and goal. Baldwin. Nowhere for him to run. Decent start. Steelers go up 3-0. It was actually Edwards who got that last carry and couldn't go anywhere. So here's Bobby Crane and the Green Bay offense. Nice job by Rakeem Kemp. So much star power on this defense. Bobby Crane fakes, and on the RPO, he's off the mark. Rushing there at the top. And now 3rd down and 10. Crane pressured. Underneath, he got it. We go forward, 3rd and 4 Green Bay. Crane, I think that's 4 verticals. He has room to run. He's a really good scrambler. Crane dumps over the middle. That's a good catch. They fake that, and Crane, hit by Barber, delivers to Matthew Golden. Crane wide open. Packers goal to go. They're throwing wide open on the screen. What are we doing out there? Touchdown, Packers. Oh my, 69-yard Cole Baldwin touchdown. That puts us ahead. This Packers offense is nice, though. They just got a go-ahead touchdown of their own. We haven't stopped them yet. Packers up 14-10. Crane in the flats gets a few. Just keep him out of the end zone, please. 3rd and 4. Heavy pressure. Caught. Touchdown, Green Bay. I'm nervous again. Defense not playing well, and we're down 11. This is 3rd and 13. Just a screen for Baldwin, and he's not going to come anywhere close. Roderick Barber, that is the only player that can change this, perhaps. 27 yards the next play. Green Bay, heavy pressure. Crane wide open. So open. Still on his feet. He's going to the house. Touchdown, Packers. We are in a lot of trouble right now. You gotta get pressure if you're gonna send that many. And then you gotta make a tackle. No, Danny Rose got stiff-armed. Things have to start going our way ASAP. I think 4 receivers are on the field right now. 3rd down for Lashley. Takes the Baldwin check down. He doesn't get there. Interception. Wow. Deontay Rushing. That's why we got him, right? Rushing just set us up at the 3. Might be the biggest play he's made for us all year. Still down 18 points. Got to run this in. Baldwin. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Roderick Barber is incredible, man. So we haven't forced them to punt the ball yet. 3rd down and 22. The first down marker's basically off screen. You got to make the play here. Bobby Crane, 3rd and 22. He's going to go short. Broken up by Josh Charleston. We have to be a 4th quarter team today. Down 11, 3rd and 6. Steelers need their own 44, and Lashley's going for a few more. It is targeted at Cage, and he cannot hold on. So we're going to need multiple 4th quarter stops. There's a quarterback in this game with 300-plus yards and 4 touchdowns, and it's not the MVP, Freddie Lashley. It is Bobby Crane, firing into the blitz for a Packer 1st down. Crane off play action, under duress, but delivers a strike. So we can allow a field goal and still be on schedule here. But we cannot give up any more touchdowns. Good play by Leary. Crane on 3rd down. We're blitzing all day long, and it's still not working. Just send 4. Trust Barber and Phelps. That's clean, though. I understand why you're blitzing now. Great protection up front. Running to the right. There we go, Phelps. Send him backward. Ends up with a loss of 3. 4-man rush. Thrown over the middle. Broken up by Kemp. Field goal's okay. Just get off the field here. And Crane will complete it well shy. It's time for the MVP to do MVP things in the last 8 minutes of this football game. Just 217 yards of offense. That's not what you expect from the top offense in the regular season. It ain't working here on the ground. We need Lashley to be unleashed. Lashley, 2nd down. That's complete. That's Roberts. 3rd and 2. Lashley's hit. Fires deep. No flags. Incomplete for Dom Roberts. We're punting. And now there really is no room for error. No touchdown, no field goal. And a field goal would probably take too much time off the clock anyway. 7 minutes to go. Crane pumps short, goes down. Barber is there. Injury timeouts are getting out of hand, too. A lot of Packers have had to leave the game. 3rd down and 15. Screen. He ain't getting there. Lashley has it again. Feels the pressure. Packers everywhere. He finds Westbrook. Play action. Lashley in rhythm. Westbrook again. Lashley calls his own number this time. It is a 1st down rush. Lashley feels pressure. He's tracked down by Jake Weber. Packers continue to blitz Lashley. Open cage. 13 yards. Lashley hits the pass. And I forget who number 17 is, in all honesty. It ain't Joey Riddick anymore, that's for sure. Westbrook hauls it in. That's a run. Baldwin gets a crease. But a good tackle. I really want to score before the 2-minute warning. Lashley, why are you not snapping the ball? Don't just let 20 seconds come off the clock right now. Are you going to take a delay a game? What's happening right now? EA, what are you doing? He's going to take a delay. Baldwin, weaving, breaking, tackles, touchdown with 2:02 on the clock. How about that? Still 4 timeouts to go. We want a touchback then on the kickoff, so it doesn't take up any time. Going for 2. Lashley. Wow, this is aggressive. Lashley's going to scramble. He's in. Wow. We went for 2, meaning one more touchdown and the extra point could win it. And right now, this is the same exact score that the previous Super Bowl between these two teams ended with, 31-25. All right, this kick return is going to be returned, unfortunately. A good one, too, across the 40 and the timeout. Another parallel, not just the score and the opponents. The Packers had 10 wins during that year. The Steelers had only 4 losses. There's not the same amount of games anymore, but the records are basically the same. And we need to stop. This is it. Last stand defense. We built for this. To get the ball back into the hands of Flash one more time. I don't like 6 yards on first down. Here's another run. Easy first down. Fumble. Fumble. We got it. Oh my, the Steelers have redeemed themselves. They could have ended the game right there. It is the biggest forced fumble I've seen in a long, long time. Who did this? Wow, what a hit. Schilling? Schilling? Tim Schilling? He's one of the lowest guys on the depth chart. He starts off here against the double team, hustles downfield, delivers the hit, and then Tim Schilling falls on the football. And the Steelers are getting it. 6-point game. Time on the clock, 2 timeouts. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Flash, the stage is yours. And Weber's there. It's a sack. Remember, we moved on from our right tackle, Nick Christmas. He got the Weber matchup over there on the right side. Swung out. Dugans, Bradley Dugans, trucking Packers in the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl. 3rd down and 6. Huge play. Lashley fires. Intercepted! No! Double covered downfield. You didn't have to let it fly right there. No, not like that, Flash. That was tough even for Cage and his catch radius. We were so close to Tim Schilling being a channel legend for the rest of time. The Packers have again defeated the Steelers in the Super Bowl by the same exact score. What are the chances of that? What a game. But Bobby Crane outplayed Freddie Lashley. I thought there was no way we were losing this game. I thought we had done the hard part by winning the AFC. Lashley makes it to his 2nd Super Bowl, but cannot take it home for Pittsburgh this time. He does not throw a touchdown in the Super Bowl. It was not a spectacular postseason for Flash. Did he have a passing touchdown the entire time? Baldwin was great, but we could not stop this Green Bay passing game. Our pass defense was improved, but I think they just played one of their worst games of the season. That is how this first year ends. I suppose I was right to be worried about Bobby Crane. I remembered him as a Dolphin. It never left my mind. Bobby Crane is your Super Bowl MVP. The Packers now have their 6th Super Bowl championship. one fewer than our Pittsburgh Steelers. I have no idea how many seasons we're running through in this video, but I hope y'all enjoyed that first year. I'm sure it's going to be the longest one of this episode. If you're enjoying Steelers Franchise the movie, let me know down below. I have not done a lot of rebuild style content where it's just like, 5, 10, however many years with one team in one video. I haven't done much of that at all because I tend to take my time and it's hard for me to stuff my process into one video like that. But I'm giving it a go here. Let me know what you think. The offseason begins with the newest retirements, including Will Anderson. Greg Lacey spent a lot of good years with the Ravens in this series. Travis Hunter after a dozen seasons. But it doesn't appear any Steelers. We don't have a very old team. We only had a couple players over 30. So it's not as if this team had much in the way of weaknesses. The key is just to try to draft high-end players because elite talent is what makes these Super Bowl championship teams. And it can be more challenging to take those players in the 20s or even the 30s when that's your first pick of the NFL draft. And then when you're trading away picks to get other players, now you have less of a class to try to rebuild from. And I'm not sure if I'm about to go full Les Snead in this series and just trade my way to the next year of contending. But how sick would that have been, man, if Tim Schilling saved the day and we won that? He might have just bought himself a little bit more time on the team in this series. What do you think? Are we picking up Freddie Lashley's 5th-year option or not? Of course we are. And we're picking up the option on Dom Roberts. Combined, that is nearly $120 million of salary. Not for this next year, but the following. We're offering a contract to Deontay Rushing despite the regression, and he signs a 1-year deal. Roderick Barber played on the franchise tag last season. We're going to offer him $33 million, and he takes it. We have one of the league's best kickers. That's an advantage you like to stick with, and we'll keep Nathan McKee. I just want to dominate special teams. So Roger Scioli, he turns down a 2-year deal. Tim Schilling we may come back to, but I don't think I'm going to offer him $7 million right now. Zay Bartell, this is kind of a no-brainer. He's like a 3rd or 4th linebacker. Doesn't even want $1.5 million a year. I'm a nice guy, so that's what I'm going to offer him. And he'll take it. It's perfect. The tough decisions now are about who you end up letting walk. I'd prefer that Rasheem Washington not be one of those players. 3 years, $50 million is the offer. He turns it down. What's the tag on the center position? $17 million? Probably doing that. But many of these players will be hitting free agency. We are going to allow Jalen Dalton, one of the best pass rushers of this series, go and test free agency after 10 years with the Steelers. He was formerly one of our 3rd-round picks. Julius Riley can test. I'd like him back. He's a good kick returner, but I can probably find another one if I need to. We're going to let Amir Lane go. Just 1 year, $20 million on a non-starting edge rusher. Can't make that call right here at the start of the offseason. Malcolm Sands is going to test. Bud Cage, I love to bring him back, but he has no interest right now, so he's going to test. Colin Oakley, I think because it's a multi-year deal, we could make this work, especially if I'm letting Dalton test. There's no reason to let Oakley test at the same time. 27 years old, so not going to develop a whole lot more, but does have superstar dev. So I think rotational guy, potential starter. Here's what Clay McDonald has done for us in the 3 years since getting him from the Carolina Panthers. 2 seasons, nearly hitting 1,000 yards. I think I'm open to a return, but I like to see what the free agent market looks like this year. So we are going to hit the franchise tag here on Rasheem Washington and end up with $64 million worth of cap space with all these players leaving. Interesting. A.J. Hayward is a wide receiver that got the story here for being the talk of the combine. Air Force wide receiver A.J. Hayward. Oh, cool. The mock draft has a cornerback going number 1. That's actually interesting. Should see a lot of quarterbacks go this year. We're going to be picking at 31st, where they have us going with a guard. I had our scouts focus a lot on receiver, tackle, and edge. The tackle class just looked so good, and we could use another right tackle if the right guy were available. I don't have all the information there. I went with receiver instead as the national. I'm not sure where all my receiver information is. It's supposed to give me a bunch of complete profiles. What'd I mess up? By the way, that A.J. Hayward, 6'5", 218, 23 years old, 4.43 and a 4.38 40. So the combine for him, that's a really good time at that size. B spec catch, C catch in traffic, C short, C release. Yeah, I can kind of get behind him as like a good day 2 receiver prospect. But looking through some free agents now, McDonald might be the best receiver available and younger than a lot of the other top guys. So I think I don't want to move on from both him and Cage in the same year. But honestly, I kind of like Cage more, and I think Cage is the tougher player to replace because his skill set is just more uncommon. So I'm first offering a 2-year deal to Bud Cage. Oh, that was the 5th-year option decision on Lane. I think it's good for me to turn that down, but I don't have to replace him. We have enough edge rushers right now. Oh, wow, there is Tyron Ridley becoming available. What happened down there in New Orleans? They weren't able to sign their superstar quarterback? Well, that's going to shake things up. I hope he doesn't come to the AFC. I started off with 4 targets. We've signed back our punter, Roger Scioli, and then a depth linebacker in Bernie Coker. We missed out on Patrick Stockton. He took less to go to Seattle, like $3 million less, but he didn't have interest in coming to us. And yes, I sim passed the first free agent week by mistake, so I couldn't get in on Easton Klein. And we have brought back both Jalen Dalton and Bud Cage. I had to up my offer on Cage. There was another team interested, but I didn't see better alternatives to these two returning. We have, however, seen receiver Clay McDonald leave. He's going to the Colts. And to replace that speed of McDonald, we have just signed Adrian Hall away from the Las Vegas Raiders. His speed is down to a 96. But if we still needed that deep ball presence that McDonald gave us, then we have someone to fill that role, and maybe even Hall does some kick returning for us. So thus far, we haven't really changed much. You'd like to go into the year with something that makes this defense potentially better than last season. I kind of agree. Our top need is at cornerback. Maybe it's not as dire as the Colts' need for a cornerback. What are they doing? And we have just swung a trade with the Miami Dolphins. We have acquired another cornerback, and we've given up our first-round pick, which means our first selection in this next draft is in the 3rd round. So we're upgrading Angelo Jones, our 3rd cornerback, who is around like the 60th ranked cornerback in the franchise. We're adding Nicholas Woodson. He's a top 10 cornerback. And on top of that, he's only 25 years old. So you have your answer then for who succeeds Deontay Rushing. It's kind of a lot to give up, but at this stage, we're just trying to get in position to win a championship the next year. And against these great teams, we still have to tighten up some things in the secondary. So number 15 ranked cornerback, 81 press, really good in zone coverage. And he's only 25 with superstar dev, so he is not done developing. Let's give him number 25. I like that. Ever since we saw that Jaguars secondary much earlier in the franchise, I've wanted to construct something similar. And it's shocking that even with our secondary the way it was, we were still getting beat as much as we were. But now we've added rushing and we've added Woodson to this defense. And we had to get better somewhere to feel good about this next year, I believe. And when you pick at 31, swinging a trade like that is kind of an easier decision. You're not getting a player of that caliber at 31 usually. Not in his first year in most cases. I don't know if I screwed up the whole receiver national scout thing. Maybe I didn't choose the position. I did all the other regions during that stage. I forget how it all works. It's been a while. I made a few receivers that might be available later on. our 3 workout players. I think a receiver with our first pick would be nice. Hayward ends up being a day 3 talent, by the way, lower than his projection, but he had a good story. He is a good athlete, so if there's a dev trait there, you got to be somewhat interested. I like what I see on the skill set. I think if he's there with our first pick, hard to talk me out of it. The issue is just our first pick is middle of the 3rd round. So we got to wait around for a while as a cornerback does go number 1. QBs end up going at 3, 4, and 5. So the Browns have another new first-round quarterback. I didn't have a full slate of picks last year. This year I have at least 2 third-rounders and then a 4, 5, 6, 7. We move up in the 3rd round 10 spots, trading away a 5th rounder this year and a 6th rounder next year. The Bears' top need was receiver. Gotta go get your guys, right? Even when your first pick is in the 3rd round. We're gonna go get that Air Force receiver, A.J. Hayward. Might be tough at this stage to find impact players for a roster in our position. This is a huge reach. Remember, he had day 3 talent. I'm just hoping for hidden development, basically. And we don't get that. That's a shame. All right, I've made a bunch of trades that have sacrificed draft capital. We're going to make one here that gives us a 5th round pick back next season, moving down with our 2nd, 3rd rounder. This next pick for us is going to be one of the higher ranked available players, J.J. Byer. 22 years old, had a decent combine, good speed, or great speed, good strength, had some top 5 and top 10 showings. Kind of a work in progress defensive tackle. Holy cow, 325. Can be invisible in the run game at times. Devin McIntosh is who I really wanted, but he was like the 30th ranked player on the available board. I had a pick at 127. I thought I'd get him there. I'm not sure I could do worse if I tried. Here in the 6th round, I'm taking Trayvon Basley, a cornerback out of Texas Tech. Closer in true value, at least. Normal dev. Our final pick in the 7th round is going to be a linebacker, Clayton Klein, a solid athlete. Don't trust these cover grades, but we need some more linebacker depth. And we're going to get it here, 290 in true value. Hidden dev, though. All right. Got that. Great draft, everybody. With our 1st round pick, we selected Nicholas Woodson. Nobody else took a top 10 cornerback in the 1st round like we just did. That was the best pick of the draft, you could say. So A.J. Hayward is a 67. Byer 63, 66, 66, 64. A.J. Hayward, I need you to make me look good here. Okay, can you do that for me? We have a guy by the name of Bud Cage. He is really big. He is really fast. You're moving in with him, and you're going to learn everything there is about being Bud Cage. Can you do that for me? All right, so Devin McIntosh. I thought I was coming back late 4th to get you. Don't even show me. Okay, normal dev. But I think he would have been a better pick in that spot. Trying to get a gold here with A.J. Hayward. There we go. We got it. If there's one player we could use a dev trait boost on, it's the young 6'5 receiver. And we didn't get that. I also found an undrafted receiver I like. Vernon Wagner. Might be a good practice squad guy. The route running is actually pretty decent for a UDFA wide receiver. And we're signing veteran DeMarcus Flemings, who I know has had a number of good years in this series, I believe with Arizona. A.J. Hayward got a bit of playing time in the preseason, but only had 4 catches, 34 yards, and a touchdown. A.J. Fryer, the now 2nd-year running back, only had 37 yards on 11 attempts. Trying to see if we can develop any more contributors for this offense. So we'll manually upgrade A.J. Hayward here a little bit, getting some deep route running and some short. I actually think he could, in the right circumstances, develop into the next Bud Cage. And I want to see that happen. Final upgrade here gives him a medium, a short, 2 more release. I mean, I don't think it's far-fetched at all. Bud Cage, 6'5", 233. He has good speed, excellent hands. He's not the most polished route runner, but he just catches the ball. He's big, fast. He finds a way. Former second-round pick. And it took him a couple of years to figure it out a little bit. I identified him early, the same way I've now identified A.J. Hayward. Trust the process. Vernon Wagner is actually going to make the team over Sergio Wolf, who I drafted in the first draft today. Wolf will be on the practice squad. These are the final cuts for the Steelers now in 2037. I've given Freddie Lashley the Superstar X Factor ability dots for perfect accuracy when he enters the zone. Here is our team entering this next season with the Steelers franchise. The offense really hasn't changed much. We did lose Clay McDonald, replaced him with Adrian Hall. Overall, I don't think our receiver group is as good as it was a year ago, and you factor in the regression as well with Bud Cage, but hopefully there is still enough here. The defense also didn't change very much, but we did add Nicholas Woodson to our secondary. Our pass defense was improved a year ago. Can it be even better this season, especially in the games where it really matters? And wouldn't you know, it's a Super Bowl rematch in Week 1. And the journey back to the Super Bowl begins here at Lambeau Field. And this game has been going a bit differently. The Packers are down 17-6 in the fourth quarter. Sure looks like our secondary looks even stronger. And Bobby Crane's not having the same success. Packers down 11. Barber makes the tackle. Crane over the middle. That's tough. Caught. Crane pressured. Okay, you left him wide open. Touchdown, Green Bay. That's what I'm talking about. 60-yard touchdown, Dom Roberts. Put this game away. 4-man rush. Over the middle and open. Down to the 5. Crane throws. That's caught. Touchdown, Packers. Onside kick try. It goes 10 yards, and the Steelers have recovered. So we can't end it on this play, but we can take a knee and then run the clock down inside of 5 seconds. We're going to kick a field goal, though, a little early, and McKee drills it. So one more play to go in the game. Packers have to get a touchdown and then a conversion. Bobby Crane on the final play is intercepted by Joaquin Castro. Roderick Barber put the hit on, and that's game. Steelers avenge the Super Bowl loss in Week 1, topping the Packers and their celebration. The race is now on for the next Super Bowl title. But we wanted to see better pass defense, and for most of this game, we got that. Lashley had 2 touchdowns plus a pick. I think this secondary is about as good as I can make it right now. I think any other next step has to be getting younger defensive linemen. We lost Eddie Reyes in that game, so we'll have to find a replacement guard. I think I have a decent guard actually on the roster for this situation. So we're going to have Dimitri Hargrove get some starts. This edge class is really good too, so that's already an easy pick for National Scout. All right, so we jump ahead to Week 7. The Steelers have opened the year 4-2. We're putting up a lot of points, not the most points, but the passing game just 28th in the league. Also, like 32nd in passing yards. I don't know what you want me to do. I created a 60-sack pass rush. I have a crazy secondary. The sim engine is just what it is. Yeah, maybe Tevin Lincoln's looking like a weak link over on the right side. Roderick Barber, Jalen Dalton, they're still getting sacks. We have 3 interceptions, including one for Nicholas Woodson. So far we look pretty good. Where do we go from the 4-2 start? We're 5-3 at the trade deadline. I know a right tackle upgrade during the season would be extremely expensive. Nothing really stands out as like a huge immediate need or anything. Like a 30-year-old tackle that's on the trade block right now, these are the offers the Texans would give us, and there ain't no way. However, we do have something other teams may want, and that is a chance with a young quarterback. Cameron Milner is just 23 years old. He's our backup with no path to playing time unless Freddie Lashley were to get injured. As the number 35 ranked quarterback, that makes him a premier backup with the potential to become a top 32 guy and legitimate starter. I've just not been able to find the right trade. I've looked at some tackle options, but teams just want so much, even for players with only a year left on their deal. And Milner is not really enough of a difference-making player to really get the talks started the way we need them to. And it takes a pretty good upgrade to do better than Tevin Lincoln, who's the number 9 ranked right tackle. Just hasn't really had the best first half. I also looked at receivers, but trading for receivers is also quite expensive. I even thought about trying to trade for Joey Riddick, but we actually can't absorb a $53 million cap hit. Yeah, these teams are out of their mind. Even if I put in like Colin Oakley here for a 31-year-old receiver, not even close. So, we're not going to trade for a receiver right now. In an AFC Championship game rematch, we defeat the Raiders in Week 11. Both teams came in with 4 losses on the year, but we come out on top. Both quarterbacks had big days, and now they have flipped back from Sherwood to Elliott. I don't know what the plan is with the Raiders. Sean Mickens just 38 yards, 102 for Cole Baldwin. Dom Roberts has a big game. We just beat the Jets 32-7. They've been one of the best teams in the AFC this year. We have reclaimed the number 1 spot in the conference with 3 games left. Let's see what these 2 injuries are. Cole Baldwin and Deontay Rushing. 2 very difficult players to replace. And Rushing's is more long-term. We've sacrificed a lot of depth, so injuries tend to mean a lot more. We still have a really good cornerback duo, but now Jalen Justice has to step up. He was the 4th guy, and I had been playing Rushing in the slot, and I thought that was a big reason why the pass numbers could have been a lot better. So we lose 2 key players with 3 games remaining. It still looks like we're in good shape, though, at 10-4. We have a 2-game lead in the North. We lost the season finale, have 2 more injuries, but no wild card game. So for another year, the Steelers are the 1 seed in the AFC. And looks like a lot has changed in the last year. Raiders out, Chargers back in with 11 victories. Joe Book has finally become a backup quarterback, and they've handed the team off to Jamario Fields. That looks like a pretty good decision. So who are we missing now? We've got Roderick Barber. No! Freddie Lashley. That's impossible to replace. What? Lashley hurts his arm in the final week securing the number 1 seed? Upper arm fracture 1 to 3 weeks. So you're telling me we don't play this week. What are the chances he can play in the division round? Freddie Lashley could miss his first significant action. Oh, we lost that game too. Wasn't playing well prior to the injury. So we are getting Baldwin back, thankfully. But we're out Rushing and Barber. Let's see who we get then, and if there's a chance Lashley could play through injury. We get the Denver Broncos in the division round. And here's a look at our injury report. Lashley is week to week. So Lashley isn't in the practice setup at all. And if he can't go, that means Cameron Milner is going to step in as the starting quarterback in the biggest game of his life. Maybe since his days at Georgia. Probably had some good college games, you'd have to think. Cameron Milner, I think, can step in and distribute the football. Maybe not be the same playmaker as Lashley, but man, our receiving core isn't as good as it was last season. And then this is the postseason, man. There ain't much room for error. So Lashley had 36 touchdowns to 9 picks. Milner came in to fill in Week 18, and his numbers are fine from that one performance. Baldwin, 957 yards. Lashley's rush production is very hard to replace. Deron Edwards, not nearly as good as Cole Baldwin. Receiving, Bud Cage was our leading receiver over Dom Roberts. That's crazy. Antoine Westbrook had himself a nice year, more productive than the previous. Maybe I was overconfident in Adrian Hall and was better off with Clay McDonald returning. Lincoln stepped it up the rest of the way. We didn't give up a ton of sacks. That's huge. And then the pass rush now, we're missing Roderick Barber, our sack leader. We do have Gray and Dalton, both reached 8 this season. Phelps, 6.5. Not much more. Brendan Leary, 3 picks. Castro, Charleston, Woodson all had a pair of interceptions this year. So, we're back in the postseason as the 1 seed. Who's lining up under center? So what does this mean? Freddie Lashley worked out pregame and he was a true game-time decision? That's Roger Scioli pumping everybody up. Wait a minute here. There's way too much nervous energy for the punter to be the one highlighted there coming out of the tunnel. Hold on a minute. This is all it says here. Lashley week to week. This player's injury is too serious. Lashley can't go. Now, I have had a third quarterback on the team, by the way, this whole video. It's been Mason Goddard. We know him, right? So he's the backup. And Cameron Milner now tries to get us to the next round where Lashley would have a chance at returning. A chance. This is Cameron Milner's first career start in the playoffs. Milner's going to hand off, as he probably will a lot, if the scoreboard allows us to do that. Loss of 1 for Cole Baldwin. Wow, no Freddie Lashley. Baldwin met in the backfield. He's hit down. They're going to be sitting on that run the entire way. And then you're talking about our defense has to step up, and we don't have our best pass rusher, and we're missing a cornerback. Didn't see him on the report, though. Lob downfield. There it is. Milner hits Adrian Hall. Gotta have a dynamic speedster out there to stretch the defense. What a deep ball. 1st and 10 from the 49. It's Baldwin. This ain't going well. Milner, quick throw. That's what we need. Get the ball out of there. 3rd and 11 for Cam Milner. He's going deep again. Lets it fly. Cage makes the catch at the 7. You know what? Maybe that's just his game. He's 2 for 2 on deep balls. Hands off Baldwin. Pops it outside on the 2nd try. He gets to the 2. Hand off. Cole Baldwin. And that's a drive-ending touchdown. The Steelers strike first. The winner of this game will meet the Los Angeles Chargers, by the way, who just defeated the Buffalo Bills. Our defense appears to be doing an outstanding job to start this game. Let's jump forward now. Midway through the 2nd, Steelers driving with Cameron Milner, number 2. Empty. Facing pressure. Milner, you have to make a quicker decision. This is a fast game, and it's Calvin Hitchens, who spent a lot of years with us in this series. Up the middle on 2nd and 20. Oh, fighting through. How does Baldwin do it, man? He's incredible. I don't care if he's 12 for 24. He is so tough. 3rd down and 14. Milner, don't take a loss. You're hurting the offense, man, with these sacks. I like what we're seeing so far. Oh, DeMarcus Flemings is in the game. That is a wide open strike for Denver. So with Barber out, you've got the longtime Cardinal now in the game. He wears number 9. Let me get my telestrator handy here. Nice run up the middle for Matthew Battaglia, the son of Bruno Battaglia. That is DeMarcus Flemings there at edge. 4-man rush. The pressure ain't showing up as easily without Roderick Barber. That's what I'm talking about. Stuff the run. Get in there, Jonathan Gray and Rakeem Kemp. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Very low-scoring game. Quarterback keeper. Nice run. 3rd and 3. We send 4. Wide open. Picking us apart underneath. Good move to the outside and then streaking to the end zone. It's a game-tying score for Martez Stevens. No way. What is that? It is a 49-yard touchdown now to Martez Stevens, and the Denver Broncos have taken the lead. Pittsburgh hasn't scored since the opening drive. Here's Milner. Quick throw. Good hands by Baldwin. Bradley Dugan's in the game. Fullback's in there. Inside Baldwin. Shaking loose. 1st and 10. Milner steps up, can run, and protects himself. I've yet to see him try a pass on the run. That has me nervous that he just doesn't do it. Throwing quick for Dom Roberts. His best plays have been on deep balls, but there's just no room to throw one of those right now. 3rd and 4. Milner into traffic. The pass is caught, guys, and it's the rookie, A.J. Hayward. I'm not sure he caught a pass all season. 3rd rounder A.J. Hayward extends the drive. He is not currently on the field. Here's Milner sidestepping, corner of the end zone, touchdown! Adrian Hall. Steelers tie it up. What a ball from Cameron Milner. He's paid attention to Freddie Lashley. On to the 4th quarter. Denver is driving. They have to get to our 35 for a conversion. We're bringing pressure. We have a problem, guys. And his name is Martez Stevens, number 14. I don't think he's on the field right now. Must be their slot receiver. Oh, what a play, Jalen Dalton. Broncos get it back to a 3rd down and 4. Watch Stevens now. Good job. He was guarded by a linebacker over the slot, probably in his zone coverage, but still. Thankfully, we have no clue what would have happened with a clean pocket there. But Denver's in position to retake the lead. And that they will. Steelers take over. Play fake for Milner. Fires downfield. Wide open. Dom Roberts moonwalking out of bounds. What's that? Fake. Milner. Given time. Bradley Dugan's by himself. Not a soul within 10 yards of him. Milner on 3rd and 9. He gets it away. Showing off the big arm again. Overthrowing Dom Roberts in the end zone. He had him. Trying to get away from the shadow of their own goalposts now. We did back them up. That's why we keep Roger Scioli and wanted to have excellent special teams. Broncos backed up at the 4. Getting the ball out. Oh, that's huge. Nice job. Is that Justice? Is he number 34? I don't know everybody on the team, just a lot of them. 3rd down and 9. Flushed. Throwing. Come on, guys. Stepping up and lobbing downfield. Open! Martez Stevens just got us again. It is a 79-yard touchdown. Why can't we cover him? After all I've done for this secondary. And he gets matched up on a linebacker again. What are we doing? So now you're telling me Cameron Milner has to pull off a 2-score comeback in the 4th quarter. And he's on his back right now. He got sacked. Milner brought down again. It's all collapsing. 3rd and 26. Milner's going to get a chunk of that here, but still well shy. Down 10 in the 4th quarter. The offense is going to go for it. We got 2 receivers at the top. 2 more on the bottom. Milner lobbing downfield. The target is Hayward. The rookie can't make the catch. He could have walked in for a touchdown if he brought that in. I think it was a pretty good ball here. Hayward, the rookie. It's in his hands. And if he catches that, he is scoring and making this a 1-possession game. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have been eliminated from the postseason. Denver comes in, beats us by 17 points. That one really hurts. Because you're a year deeper into this roster that's already, starting to show some age. Not like, we have a lot of 35-year-old players, but guys that are past their prime, starting to decline. I'm obviously not making the kind of moves that make us younger, faster in the offseason. I'm trying to get to Super Bowls right now. And for this one to end this way stings. Lashley does not play. Milner, it was his first career start. And I'm not sure how much more we could have expected. But Martez Stevens. Holy cow. They have receiver depth. Their 3rd receiver was Martez Stevens. 30 years old, dangerous deep threat. Proved that against us. He had more touchdowns in that game than he did the entire regular season. So that's another year done with our Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not sure this team, even with a healthy Lashley, was nearly as good as the previous years. And now, what happens next? The Minnesota Vikings have just won the Super Bowl in our franchise. They beat the Denver Broncos. They avenged it for me. Thanks, guys. My favorite team finally wins a Super Bowl. Adrian Hall retires. Clay Wilcox, at one time, he was one of the best players in the entire franchise. Ashton Genty retires. I don't think any dev trait changes happened on the offensive side. Woodson and Rushing are still superstars. Castro and Barber are both X factors. And now Jalen Dalton's down to an 82, it looks like. I do think finding another defensive tackle has to be a priority. And in the little bit we saw there, the pass rush without Roderick Barber is just not the same. And he can't play forever. He's entering year 12. This next offseason is going to be more challenging than the first 2 I've done today, because we only have $80 million in cap space. Not much. When you're looking at Joaquin Castro being available, Nicholas Woodson, who we had just given up a first-round pick for, Rasheem Washington, Josh Charleston, Jonathan Gray, Cole Baldwin, Josh Phelps. This list keeps going. Roderick Barber and Deontay Rushing are on this list. $80 million is 3 of these guys. And this is the really hard part, too, when you consider that Freddie Lashley hasn't even been signed yet. This is just the effects of his 5th-year option kicking in for the next year, along with Dom Roberts. So this next draft is so crucial. It cannot be like last year's at all. Freddie Lashley and Dom Roberts are now done with the salary-friendly contracts. We are paying for their value, and now things get really challenging. I think the first thing that comes to mind is, can we restructure anybody? And I'm not sure that there are a lot of options here. I think we should take the ones that are there. Like if we restructure Brendan Leary to save under $1 million this year. Okay, that's a waste of time. We can restructure Raheem Kemp to save $2 million. So none of this is going to get you another player under contract. So now I have to prioritize and really think about who we're moving on from and who actually gets the big deals to continue sticking around. I'm either signing Nicholas Woodson or we are franchise tagging him. There's no way I'm letting him walk after giving up a first-round pick to acquire him. To make my deal stronger, I'm adding a 5th year to the contract, and he doesn't like it. So before we get to anybody else, I know I'm tagging him for $28 million. Rasheem Washington, 29 years old, 87 overall center. I would like to re-sign him, especially to prioritize a player who is under $20 million per season. Come on, man. I know for sure I need Cole Baldwin. I don't think he would be very easy to replace at all, and I'm going to add on an extra year. This is under $10 million per season, but it's still a premium at running back, and Baldwin does sign a 4-year extension. I really don't think I can afford to pick up Jonathan Gray's option right now, and he hasn't taken a significant leap, so I'm declining it for $26 million. I don't think I can bring back Roderick Barber. Not with $43 million in cap space, where he would eat up the majority of that. I think this is end of the road, unfortunately, for one of the best players of this entire series. And we just saw in that postseason game what it's like not having him. Edge is such a colossal need. We have to get some young D-line talent. We're losing most of it this offseason. Roderick Barber for 31, or keep Josh Phelps for a little over 10. I'm going to have to offer to Phelps, and he takes it. Charleston, he's gone. We've picked the cornerback that we've invested in. I don't even have Deontay Rushing under contract. I think I have to let him test free agency. This is a scary offseason. I don't know that I can really sign many more players at all. Maybe Jalen Justice, because now suddenly a 76 overall corner, given the way things look, might end up in a pretty big role. And I just don't think that there's a way I can make it work. I've paid too many other players big money. Joaquin Castro, one of the best defensive picks of the series, now is going to hit free agency at 25 years old as maybe the best linebacker in the game. I never wanted to see him hit free agency, but I do not have a choice. And I won't be handing out any other contracts. I have to see what I can possibly do with this $30 million. Eddie Reyes is going to test and hit free agency. This is the most roster turnover that we've had in a long time. And to make things more challenging, I again sim past week 8, where I did not set my national scout preference, so I don't have all the edge info that I need. And with Roderick Barber walking, edge is arguably the greatest need now on the roster. I don't have talent grades yet. Perhaps I have enough information to make some educated guesses. I think that we can identify some pretty good talents, but not ideal. Only 2 of our previous 5 offensive linemen are under contract. I think, looking back, maybe the Brendan Leary contract was a mistake in terms of just, I wish, that money was helping us bring back Joaquin Castro instead. We still have Raheem Kemp, so there is a standout guy, but Castro was the best guy. So the absolute musts are to repair the offensive line with what money we have available. And then I think it's the draft that has to give us the D-line boost. And we need a starting cornerback. This is not all easily possible with about $30 million in cap space. Trading Brendan Leary would only create $2 million worth of room, it says. It's simply too early into the deal with too much money. It's one of the worst contracts for us to trade. I probably shouldn't have made that deal. Here's free agency. And 3 of the top 4 players are from our roster. Joaquin Castro, Roderick Barber, Josh Charleston. Then you get to Rasheem Washington. I have $29 million. Maybe I can get Washington back, but I cannot put out like the strongest offer. I can probably offer more years and just try to push some of that money down the line a little bit. Like 3 years, 50, I feel is about the max. I have very little confidence right now. We have failed to sign center Rasheem Washington. He is headed out to the Raiders, a rival of ours. Josh Charleston gets a 3-year deal with the Bills, and Joaquin Castro, he becomes a high-paid linebacker with San Francisco. And we just failed to sign Deontay Rushing, who got about 1 year, $11 million going to Washington. We're just not in those markets, and I'm trying to see which players will take a couple $1 million less to come here. We've made our first signing. It is the Rasheem Washington replacement. We get Cam Stokes on a $9.5 million deal. He's an 84 overall center who's really well-rounded in most areas. He's just not great at holding up against power. I know we need to try getting the best players we can so our run game is still productive, but we'll see how this goes. Did Roderick Barber seriously have to sign with the Raiders too? Why does this keep happening? Now we've signed John Trey Kirkpatrick at cornerback. He's an 81. And Zach Gafford to a 1-year deal at guard. So that gives us this new look lineup. We still have to think about right tackle. I'm not sure we have a starter there yet. Can we draft one? Are we going to be forced to draft somebody? Woodson, Kirkpatrick, Justice. I mean, you could do worse at corner. The secondary still looks fine. And we certainly need to find an edge rusher. Looks like we could have Colin Oakley stepping into a starting role this year. So a lot comes down to how we draft this season. Now, we're going to be drafting in the 20s. They have us going with a guard, Sergio Castro. I chose my 3 private workout players. We have one here, William Cabrera, a wide receiver who's more of a day 3 guy. Height, weight, speed guy. You know, I've been drafting this archetype quite a bit. Had a couple grades that seemed decent. Should not reach on him. And then I thought Jerry Young was going to have a nice grade. He ends up with day 3. The combine looks solid. He had B power and B awareness, but shouldn't reach for him there. And then cornerback Dion Ellerby. So here's a round 1 talent out of West Virginia. Definitely wasn't playing for my defense, that's for sure. Yeah, combine looks really good. A press, A catching. We'll look past the injury risks there. That's a good cornerback prospect. So I think this is another draft where we probably can't do too much in terms of trade-ups because now the roster has lost so much. We need to kind of stick and try to pick the best guys that are available, I believe. We have a first, second, third, fourth, 2 5s, and a 7 this year. 3 top 100s, and they might all have to be early contributors. I think the main focus with our trade-ups are that we need to make 3 top 100 picks. So ideally not moving the second or third. If we have to give up the 4th rounder, that's probably okay. Ah, man, Ramon Cota, I was kind of hoping would be there at 27. He doesn't even make it close. There's a big tackle run going, and it seems in most of these classes, there is a big run in, like, the teens. And, like, 7 of them go. There might not be a great option at 27. So, final pick before we're on the clock. Ramon Stevenson is selected. Trading down, I think, is also fine, depending on the board. There are still quarterbacks out there, and there is an edge rusher that I don't have a grade on. We have a couple. Leon Booker, round 1. His combine looks really good. Elite acceleration, elite jumping. solid 40 time. Definitely not like a great time there. And then D power, A finesse, B awareness, B tackling. Then there's a defender with more size, 6'4", 268, Nick Allen. Good speed, good strength. His 40 times were a little bit better. Not sure the combine's all around improved. B power moves, A awareness, C block shedding. Looks like a potential day one starter to me. Tony Gonzalez, not at tight end, but at receiver. Great speed. You want your Clay McDonald replacement? I think this is the guy right here. One of the most dangerous athletes in this class. What does he have to go with it? B catching, C catching traffic, B deep route running. He does look pretty good. So I wish I had done this earlier, but I spent most of my coach points making it so next year I can have 5 tier 3 scouts. And I bought a bunch of the scouting related upgrades, so I'm kind of at a disadvantage right now. It's my own fault. So I'm going to have to do this with very few talent grades given to me. And I had a lot of tackle information. We just are in a spot where there are none available. All the day one starters are taken. With the 27th pick in whatever year it is NFL draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Tony Gonzalez, wide receiver out of Virginia Tech. At the end of the day, this is Freddie Lashley's team. This is an offensive football team. And we are adding a young playmaker to what we're building. He was 23rd in true value. I think you could have gone with Allen. I thought he was the best edge available. There is another edge I like a lot. Didn't drop a pass at the combine. Strong hands to make catches through contact. Consistently bailed out quarterbacks with spectacular catches. How does he have normal dev? And running a 4.3 40, I thought we'd get more than 94 speed. So we're getting a deep threat. I liked that he had B catching, B deep route running, C catching traffic. Thought there was a decent chance we could get hit in development here, but we did get a really good athlete, and the talent grade was at least right. So we'll see when the edge rushers go, probably pretty soon. Defense is definitely priority with our next pick. Leon Booker goes at 36. And my current target is lower ranked than him and Allen's, so I feel okay about the way this is falling. Allen ends up going to the Ravens. Are you kidding me? He must be that good. Marco Lopez just went 45. Nowhere near the top of the available board. He was in the 70s. We're going to stick and pick then at 59. And we're not going to waste any time here. We're drafting Ian Mays. We know his talent grade is really good. And we have a need at cornerback. I think with a hybrid skill set, he can be third safety, primary slot corner, A-man coverage, and C-zone coverage. That's not a combination you often get outside the first round. So I think this is going to be a slam dunk. Ian Mays, the newest Pittsburgh Steeler. And maybe eventually we can move on from Leary. Again, I don't know how far we're going with this. Like, my intention is not actually to see Freddie Lashley retire here. Not in this video, but I don't know how far we're going to go, because I think I'm over the long-term sims, and whatever it is that I do, I want it to be where I'm more hands-on with the team. And I'm even open to hidden development. I'm open to ending a series and then perhaps it returns a ways down the road, even in a one-episode special. Like, what if we go through a little bit more and it feels like we're at a pretty good end point, but then down the road we see this series return again? I think that's possible. This is kind of a test run for that, because I haven't even posted this series in a few months, and now I'm going to drop a feature-length film on it. Our next pick is going to finally be an edge rusher, and we're going to select Nathan Thorpe here in the 3rd round. He's not a good run defender, but he put together a pretty complete combine. He has B finesse moves, C power, C tackling, C play rec, so those core skills at least end up in a decent spot to start. Just tell me I didn't overdraft by like 60 spots this time. Nathan Thorpe from Nevada. Welcome to the Steelers. 132 in true value. Small reach. Normal development. Here in the late 4th round, we're going to take Tevin Woodard, the top-ranked guard, whose pass protection looks solid. So I don't want to take players here who just have nothing in the run game, and at least he has strength as a good. His run blocking grades are probably, all D's across the board. But it's the late 4th round. You rarely get great offensive linemen around here anyway. 179 in true value. Got to reach on everything, apparently. And normal dev on him. We're going to take another offensive lineman here later in the 5th round. A lot of A grades here on center Jose Perez. Probably very low run blocking, but I still think this late, I want to take strengths like that. And 84 in true value. Okay, that's better. That's a potential, starter one day, maybe. I wish I could have gotten hidden dev there. I have another pick in the 5th round. I want to select defensive tackle Del McKee, a 21-year-old nose tackle. I was sorting by block shed. He had the best. The combine, not bad. Just a shade over 5 seconds on the 40. Really nice change of direction. He was first in the 3-cone, first in the 20-yard shuttle. B block shed, C finesse moves, and B awareness. This is going to be a good 5th round pick. 46 in true value. Muscular frame with explosive power. Able to easily disengage in one-on-one blocks. Now, I can't get hidden dev today, apparently. But there's an easier path for playing time for these guys at normal, given the current construction of this roster. I think I'm just going to take a linebacker with this last pick in the 7th round. Cesar DeMarco. Saw he had some run-stopping skills, but I'm not expecting a whole lot from this pick. Just maybe somebody who could play special teams or be a 4th, 5th, 6th linebacker, who knows. DeMarco, 167 in true value. So better values later on in the draft, but not a good draft for hidden development luck. I got 1. So our draft is giving us a 76 overall receiver. That's a really good overall, and he's going to have an immediate role. Then Ian Mays at 75. Nathan Thorpe's a 68. We get Tevin Woodard a 67. But 70 on center Jose Perez. 73 on Del McKee. And 67 on Cesar DeMarco. So McKee stands out here late. This is a nose tackle who, again, may have a chance to get early playing time, and we'll see what happens with these guys. Some of these prospects don't fit well into a roster that's as built up as what we had, but a year later, now all this playing time's available. We'll see what happens. Here's our top pick, by the way, Tony Gonzalez. He's going to have great speed acceleration. I mean, these 7-point boosts, I wish they would just turn this stuff off for the offseason because it manipulates everything, but I think he has a chance to be a difference maker. And then look at Ian Mays as kind of a hybrid cornerback safety. I feel like he's going to be able to step in and contribute immediately. I can already tell that we're going to have to do some restructuring just to get a full roster put together. So we're going to create $1.4 million by restructuring Antoine Westbrook. And we're going to restructure Rakeem Kemp as well. The scary thing is, going into the preseason, we actually need to find a starter or two. Then we need an edge rusher, and Clay Marshall at 35 years old can still probably give us a decent year. What are the Saints doing with all these quarterbacks? Well, everybody, we need a backup quarterback. And I think it is finally time, after all these years, at age 34, that we bring Joe Book to our Pittsburgh Steelers. And we've made a trade with the New England Patriots, sending them Donovan Ferguson and Mike Godfrey. We're acquiring a starting tackle. And that is Hayden Stern at 28 years old, and I think where we are and having to target players who are lower rated, at least getting someone who's strong in a key area is important. We have to add a running back, and we're signing Ryan Winslow, a 234-pound power back. Plan is to make him the RB3 behind A.J. Fryer. And I actually think taking a look at the undrafted free agents is kind of a good idea as well. I nearly drafted Terrence Ramsey. We're going to sign him now. But I'm already so limited with cap space that I can't even sign more UDFAs at this time. There is another tough decision that I think we have to make. Rod Triplett, huh? I have now traded away Bud Cage. We're sending him to the Indianapolis Colts for Rod Triplett and a 6th-round pick. Trading Cage was going to be the easiest way for us to create an additional $6 million in cap space. Plus, we got a young player in return. This is a nice return because Triplett, 75 overall, 24 years old. It's a legitimate potential starting edge rusher. Can't give him a tackle number, though. We have to fix that on day one. I didn't want to trade away Bud Cage, but I kind of felt it necessary to keep adding to this roster, and we just spent a 1st-rounder on a receiver and already have Dom Roberts. So it's time for A.J. Hayward to show if he can play whatsoever. Gonzalez is going to be a day one starter. What a different build this season is going to have for the Steelers. We're signing a familiar face in Curtis Moss to be our 3rd tight end. He's kind of a well-rounded player that could fill in if we need him to. And I feel like I've got to go back to what I was doing in the Snowhawks series a little bit when I was constructing a team out of undrafted free agents and practice squad players. I've got to see who's out there that we can fill the roster with that might have a deb trait, because we're not the same team anymore. This is kind of a full circle moment for me with what I've done here in Madden this year, and the Snowhawks series was kind of the newest and most unique thing I've done in a while. And the strategies I had to use for that series are now spilling over. Donnell Farrell, X-Factor rookie undrafted defensive tackle. That's what I'm talking about. And let's add a star dev strong safety while we're at it in Marquez Randall. And of course, we've got to make training camp count for the likes of Donnell Farrell, the new superstar X-Factor defensive tackle. The undrafted players in this game are unbelievable. That's why I did a whole series dedicated to them. But there is just so much that we've had to replace for this year. I'm not sure what to think about this team. We still have the great quarterback and a lot of great players, but now you're replacing so much talent with unproven younger players. I don't know if we're the same team. Trading away Bud Cage moves things along so that we're going to be seeing A.J. Hayward suddenly have a chance to get some playing time, but Tony Gonzalez is going to be the priority. The deep threat, speed playmaker at wide receiver, trying to make the most out of his rookie season. He's going to be the number 2 to Dom Roberts. And look who we've got as our backup quarterback this year. I wonder if this is going to be the last season of his career. Even if he doesn't retire, he probably regresses way too far to be on a roster. So I consider this to be the final season for Joe Book. Now, Freddie Lashley got hurt last year and couldn't play in the playoff game. Will Joe Book ever have to play a meaningful snap this season? There we go. Finish strong, Joe. Hit that one. One more chance. At the buzzer? Oh, they're not going to give me that one? Well, we did manage to put together an undefeated preseason. Pretty good numbers across the board there for the team. Freddie Lashley, 5 touchdowns, 3 of them for Joe Book. And so A.J. Fryer, he is the new RB2 at 4.5 yards a carry in the preseason. And then Tom Roberts, who's going to show up outside of him at receiver? That is incredible. Quiet preseason again for A.J. Hayward, and not a ton for Tony Gonzalez. The pass rush outside of Roderick Barber has struggled, and now he's no longer here. So Clay Marshall, Josh Phelps, Jonathan Gray, those are your top pass rushers. And then Is this secondary going to be able to hold up? Because we lost talent there too. Linebacker is also not the strength it once was after losing Joaquin Castro. I used that training camp boost ability, so Donnell Farrell, after all of preseason and everything, 8 skill points. He's going to have X Factor as a 70-plus overall. He's going to come in looking like a first-round player. So we're going to upgrade the pass rushing, and he might be walking into some early playing time then, because this team is desperate for a breakout rookie, and he's got the upside nobody else has. How's 72 overall sound for a now undrafted free agent defensive tackle? Yeah, that works for me. And then guys like AJ Fryer got to pick up the slack and show that they can contribute. Fryer now the RB2, putting all of this into elusive back. He becomes a 77 overall. Here's Tony Gonzalez becoming a 77. Looking for route running. That's where he's low. He gets 3 short. Can Freddie Lashley help Tony Gonzalez have a big rookie season? Interesting cut here. Cameron Streets. Yeah, we're going to have to pick him up. 76 overall, 23 years old with star development. Remember, back to the Snowhawks series, after all these training camp cuts, there was like another wave of free agency. Sergio Romero, hidden dev, 76 overall as a rookie. I got to open up some space for him, but yeah, we'll make that work. And this is why I ended up trading Bud Cage. I need even more cap space to bring him in. Yes, I actually do want to free up $780,000. This is ridiculous. But it's what I've created for this team. And now we have $380,000 in cap room. The Bud Cage trade was a need, not a want. So why did Romero become available then? He was with Atlanta, drafted in the 7th round. So the CPU, they draft some really good players at times, and they don't always have room to keep them around. But adding Farrell and Romero makes it very easy now to look at a potential Colin Oakley deal, because suddenly the position's very different than it was earlier. So we're trading Oakley to the Bears for a linebacker and a 5th round pick. We just added Taylor Cook. Linebacker depth was not looking very good, and now we finally have a second coverage linebacker. So Cook is going to play. This is going to be the year, too, where you'd have to give Freddie Lashley the big contract. He's already making good money because of the 5th-year option, but a $547 million deal over 7 years is actually even more than his option is paying him slightly. This is $78 million a season. At the very least, you could tack on a bunch of years and just restructure to create room. And then a big Dom Roberts deal is going to be in the neighborhood of $35 million a season. And for those undrafted players, I do edit in 3-year deals. And then for Sergio Romero, just kind of like making up for something the NFL doesn't have. Like, he would have been waived and he'd still be on a 4-year contract. So I'm giving him a 4-year contract. So we've got some young players now that it makes sense to have as focus players for this season. Our team overall is not as high as it once was. The offense is now an 88. The defense, just an 83. We are going to be an offensive football team and see how it all comes together, because this is the team we're rolling out to begin the season. I've had to change 3 of the offensive linemen since last year. We brought in a new receiver. We've lost Bud Cage and Clay McDonald in the last 2 years. AJ Fryer now the RB2. And on defense, no more Roderick Barber. Josh Phelps has to step up. The young defensive tackles have to step up. Plan is to play both Romero, Farrell as like the rush defensive tackle, and then I want to start triplet on the edge and have Clay Marshall as the rush end to try to give us some pass rush. I liked the late trade to get Taylor Cook, so our linebacker group is a little bit stronger, because otherwise Klein was going to be starting and I didn't have a second coverage linebacker. Cornerback suddenly looks like one of the better position groups. The secondary in general, when you factor in Ian Mays playing the nickel and giving us extra safety depth. I think ideally, I wouldn't have signed Leary the way that I did. I wish I could have gotten out of his contract and kept a Roderick Barber or a Rasheem Washington, but I wasn't careful enough with his money. So a lot has changed. We've had 2 Super Bowl runs in the Freddie Lashley era, won one of them, and now the team is already changing significantly. How well does this team fare in 2038? Freddie Lashley returns after missing the postseason game that ended our year last season, and he runs in an opening drive touchdown. This new-look defense then allows Vernon Meadows and the Panther offense to drive down the field, and they stall thanks to a penalty and kick a field goal. Jumping all the way ahead to the fourth quarter, the Steelers are now up 27-16. They just added a field goal with under 3 minutes left, and Clayton Klein just got a pick. I'm not even sure what's putting him on the field, but the Steelers are going to win this first game of the year 30-16. Freddie Lashley, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, while Vernon Meadows, 2 picks, only 153 passing yards. Our run game didn't do all that much. Antoine Westbrook had 6 catches, Dom had 5. Tony Gonzalez, 3 for 39 in his debut. A.J. Hayward, I believe, has his first career touchdown. But I'm most impressed by the defensive performance. Taylor Cook leads us in tackles. We get a sack from Jonathan Gray, just 1, 2 TFLs from Clay Marshall, and then picks by Klein and Jontre Kirkpatrick. Here's the Indianapolis Colts roster. Look pretty familiar at wide receiver with McDonald and Bud Cage. And remember, this is the team that we had acquired Cage from in the beginning of his career. So he's back after 6 years in Pittsburgh. I bring up Indy because that's our next opponent. It's 17-14 in the fourth quarter. Trying to show that even after all the change, this is still a team that should be feared. Here's Dom Roberts hauling in the 3-yard catch. Quiet day for Lashley. The production's pretty light. It's third down for Pittsburgh. Lashley steps up and scrambles inside the 10, taking a hit at the 5. 78 yards rushing on 14 attempts. Wow. Didn't realize we were running my West Virginia offense here. From the 4 on 1st and goal, it's Lashley again, but he doesn't break the plane. Lashley kept it again, 16 carries. Let him throw the ball. What are the chances his next pass is even going to come out as a spiral or be accurate? Baldwin doesn't get there. We're not able to capitalize. So now, we're up by 6 with 2 former receivers trying to take this game for Indy. And there is a reception. That's not Bud Cage or McDonald. I think Cage is lined up at the bottom here. And then McDonald is at the top, making the catch on 2nd down. Play action. Cheatham over the middle. And that was Kemp's coverage. He's the best linebacker we've got. 4-man rush. Phelps almost got there in time. Good coverage. 3rd down and 3. We give that up easily. Oh, they marked him short. Never mind. They're going to review it. And yeah, that's why I thought it was a 1st down. Still plenty of time for Indy. Open outside. Touchdown. They pick on Mays a couple plays after he helps break up a pass. Matthew Milner scores. It's going to be harder to count on the defense to win this team games. We're paying Freddie Lashley $75 million this season. The combination of him and Roberts, nearly 120. So, when all you need is 3, I expect them to get the job done here. Freddie Lashley over the middle, intercepted. They dropped an extra defender, and he rushed that. It was only a 3-man rush from Indy. Freddie Lashley picked off second play of the drive. And that's game. First loss of the year is by 1 point. That is a tough one for the Steelers. Definitely a weak game from Freddie Lashley. No touchdowns, 2 picks, 6.1 yards per attempt. Haven't seen the running game get off to a great start. Lashley's going to boost those numbers, make it look a lot better than it is. And looks like McDonald at 58 yards receiving, while Bud Cage 1 for 16. We have an injury after our Week 3 game, and Jamie Kendricks, one of our best offensive linemen, will miss 2 to 3 games, it seems. So a 1-2 start, just lost to Cleveland, gave up 35 points to the Browns. That's where we are. Thankfully, tackle is actually a spot where we have some depth after getting Cameron Streets, but this is still not ideal. Heading into our Week 7 bye, the Steelers are actually playing some pretty good football. I'm shocked at these rankings. I kept much of the offense intact, and the offense is slipping. And now the defense, after all the change, they're playing some of the best defense they have in a while. We've rattled off 3 straight wins on the road, including a division game against the Bengals. And our defense the last 3 games have allowed 14, 10, and 3 points. Lashley maybe not thriving behind a line that is far worse than any he's played with. And we're seeing that impact also on the run game with Cole Baldwin's efficiency tanking. Rakeem Kemp gets an interception against the Bucks. Clay Marshall a sack and a half. Taylor Cook got 1. At the bye, Lashley has just 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Far from spectacular. Baldwin's under 4 yards per carry. Tony Gonzalez leads us in receiving. That's surprising and nice to see him averaging 51 a game. Defense only has a few takeaways and isn't generating a lot of sacks, but the points kind of speak for themselves right now. I wanted to see where this team would be at Week 9, the trade deadline. And we're not going to be sellers. So we do lose badly to the Ravens, 38-10, but we are 4-3. Did the defense just face some good matchups? Are they not that good? We'll find out over the course of this season, but Lashley is having a year that statistically would be the worst of his career, and it's the 4th season. At least A.J. Hayward had a good game, had a touchdown there against the Ravens. So these are the free agents you have to think about during this season. Obviously, Freddie Lashley, Dom Roberts, players that are expected to be staples here. Nicholas Woodson could be tough to bring back. Then you've got Jonathan Gray, only 25 years old. It feels like he should be 30 by now, but he's still in his mid-20s. You got Matt McConnell and a huge need to find some younger offensive linemen. It's been like the oldest position group on this team. Taylor Cook looking like a pretty good player to bring back so far. I'm actually going to look at signing him. Now, the video today, I've planned on it probably ending up just being the 3 seasons so far. And then we're going to go from there. I want to see your feedback, but I at least wanted to tack more on to this Steelers franchise, and I've enjoyed making this video so far. I think we've already had some interesting things play out. So we don't have much cap space. We're not going to be trading away veterans right now. We're going to see what this season can become. The offense finally has their breakout day against the Bills. Both teams were 4-3, so this is nice to see. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick from Lashley. Baldwin gets up to 82 yards rushing, 41 on the day for A.J. Fryer. And then Tony Gonzalez, 5 for 83. Standout day for the defense, too. Phelps had 2 sacks. Gray had 1. Interceptions for Kirkpatrick and Woodson. Been waiting to see a Cole Baldwin breakout play out here. And I think I want to go with a medium goal. Now, our run game hasn't been great this week. Or this season. Another dominant win with great defense, holding the Titans to 145 yards. We had 160 yards rushing. 98 of those went to Baldwin as Fryer took 2 touchdowns. So I doubt that accomplishes whatever his goal was. Gonzalez scores a touchdown. Marshall, Bartell, Gray all get to the quarterback. So Baldwin did not break out. He still has star development. We haven't had a Marquise McLeod update yet. Let's go see what he's up to with in Arizona. We haven't played them yet in this episode. I think next year we'd probably have to if this is the 3rd year in a row of not facing Arizona. So McLeod's 33 years old. Our old quarterback before Freddie Lashley spent so many years trying to make it work. We couldn't do it. Traded him to Arizona, drafted Freddie Lashley. The rest is history. He's been pretty good out there in the desert, but maybe this season showing his age a little bit and starting to slip. Still has big money contract years coming up. It's interesting to see what happens to these teams because it is harder to construct your team when you're paying your quarterbacks this much money. And it causes you to change quite a bit. Right now, the Raiders are out in front with the Chargers at 8-1. The Cardinals, meanwhile, are one of the worst teams in football this season. We did show up and beat the Chargers, showing that we could go toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the league. Jamario Fields throws an interception, gets sacked 5 times. Clean day for Freddie Lashley. That is nice to see. Hayward scores, has 91 yards receiving. And the sacks go to Kemp, Marshall, and then one was split between Gray and Triplett. Kirkpatrick picked off another pass. That seems like a signing that's worked out. The secondary hasn't been too bad. And this season, we have a top 10 scoring offense and top 10 scoring defense. So I felt pretty good about where things were this season. We did just lose to the Ravens. The Steelers are 7-5. That puts them in last place currently in the North. This division is brutal this season. They respond with a big win against the Houston Texans, 41-25. Freddie Lashley, 5 touchdowns, 368 yards. That's one of his most important games of the season. He had a perfect passer rating. That's amazing. A.J. Hayward, 8 for 171 and 3. It feels like his production's in a really good spot. Also feels like the game probably moved him into the slot role without me wanting that. Ian Mays had an interception. Triplett got a sack. Now let's take a look. If Hayward's doing that without being the slot receiver, that is really impressive, but chances are it wanted to make that change on its own. And sure enough, he is the number 1 guy. When it's supposed to be Dom and the second guy is meant to be Zach Anthony. So here you are, A.J. Hayward, 8 touchdowns, 701 yards. Dom Roberts has been less productive than the 2 young receivers. Still work to do. We're only the 8th ranked team right now. 7 teams get in. So big matchup against Cleveland. Under the lights, AFC North action as we take on the Cleveland Browns. This is one of those matchups where the winner has a significant boost to their playoff chances, and the loser has their odds cut significantly. In the third, 17-14 Cleveland. Lashley with 3 receivers to his left. Hands off, Cole Baldwin finds a crease, breaks a tackle. A stiff arm helps him reach the 21. Fryer checks in. A.J. Fryer dashes up the middle and gains just 1. A.J. Hayward's been a playmaker, bottom of the screen. 3rd and 7. Lashley breaks the pocket, heads inside the 10. Stopped at the 1. Lashley looking to throw. Rolls right, takes off. Oh, he goes down. 3rd and goal. And the quick pressure doesn't give him a chance to scan the defense. So we're not going to take the lead on this possession. Clay Marshall just got a sack. And Cleveland is at our 20, looking to retake the lead. 2nd down and 18. Giving this one. Oh, a fumble! It's knocked out or recovered by the Steelers. And this one's taken back down the sideline. Clay Marshall at 35 years old to the 10-5 touchdown. How do you like that? Ian Mays on the forced fumble. That's your first-round rookie with a game-changing play. There it is. What a colossal moment in this season. So now Cleveland has to try and fix it just to retie the game. Pass downfield. Caught. Come on, Woodson. You can't let that ball be given up like that. 1st and 10. Throwing. Caught at the 5. Running it. What a play. Wow, that's one of the young defensive tackles. That's Del McKee who made the tackle. One of our 3 rookie defensive tackles. Come on, defense. Sermon's off the mark, and it's 4th down. They're leaving the offense on. They can still get a 1st down inside the 3-yard line. Sermon's to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Cleveland, and we're tied again. Good drive being put together. Steelers, a couple passes caught by Dom on this drive. 4 and change remaining. So important that we get this win. 2 receivers to the right, straight ahead. Baldwin for the 1st down. Inside, and now Fryer breaks a tackle. How about this? Do we have another stud running back in the making? Over the middle, Dom Roberts inside the 5. 1st and goal. Handoff, Baldwin. This last yard has been so tough to get. I'm not confident in us running from the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal. It's Baldwin. Doesn't get there. Our power run red zone package might stink. We're going to stick with the run. Baldwin scores on 3rd and goal to retake the lead. Cleveland has 1 minute to fix this, and they're running the football. That's Deron Edwards, by the way, who spent time with us here in this video. It always feels like we're running into players who have played for us. 50 seconds to go. They have all 3 timeouts. We're blitzing. Scrambling and finding a wide open receiver in Steeler territory. On the carry, bouncing off Leary and Marshall. The 3rd guy makes the tackle, Danny Rose. Why are they running the ball, though? Going hurry up. Y'all have a timeout. You have a mismatched sense of urgency here. The play calling isn't matching. That's caught inside the 20. Come on, defense. Gotta get this over with now. Sermon's lofting. Touchdown with 19 seconds left. They beat Leary. We are perhaps headed to halftime, but wait a minute. We're going to see what Lashley can do with 8 seconds. Dom Roberts isolated at the top. Lashley set up. He's going to let it fly. Deep downfield, getting to the end zone, and incomplete. Overtime it is. This is Cole Baldwin to start overtime with a big 18-yard run. Lashley wide open, brought in by Tony Gonzalez. That's Baldwin. Broke a tackle, still on his feet. He is amazing. 3rd down and 6. Over the middle, Westbrook inside the 20. Lashley hit as he throws. A.J. Hayward at the 9. Lashley gives to Baldwin, and he ran into his own man. Otherwise, he could have even scored there. So we're going to kick the field goal. and put some pressure on our defense. Cleveland football. Sermons on the crossing pattern has a quick 12 yards. Chuck Johnson is irate. Sermons over the middle. Good catch. Already nearing field goal range. Sermons again on the crosser. It's too easy. Sermons pressured. Gotta get him there. Wrapped up on the play by Triplett. That was a gotta have it play. Now it would be a long field goal from this spot, and that pass is batted away by Woodson. 3rd down and 17. We want them kicking the long field goal, or perhaps getting sacked here. Sermons gets it away in the end zone. Broken up by Jontre Kirkpatrick. So if they make this kick, at least then we have time for a drive. If they miss it, though, we'll get our 9th win. Joshua Carty, right hash. 53-yard try. On its way. It is good. Tied at 34. And Freddie Lashley is in the zone here for this final drive for Pittsburgh, where Cole Baldwin gets blasted. 5-yard gain. Show a little bit more urgency, guys. You're making me nervous. High formation. Bradley Dugan's leading the way. Big run. Baldwin. He's near the 50. We're trying to run our way to a game-winning field goal try, it seems. We have one timeout. Fake from Lashley. Dishes out to Fryer. You're still not in field goal range. Lashley, 4-man rush. That's Dom. So now you would at least attempt it. Can we get 5 to 10 here? It's a run. Oh, no! Baldwin! Hurry up, run a play. We called the timeout. Oh, I have no idea how we're going to manage this here, guys. Hopefully, at the worst, it's a tie. 29 seconds. Lashley scrambling and fumbled. It's recovered by Cleveland. And now they have it with 23 seconds left. It's Tim Schilling. Schilling's at it again. No. Where'd he come from? Tim Schilling. Please say that doesn't count. It does. Tim Schilling is a late game forced fumble merchant. Browns trying to get in range. They have 19 seconds, a single timeout. What are the chances? What are the actual odds that was Tim Schilling? I can't believe that. Sermons hit, finds a man. This is dangerous. They could try a 59-yard field goal, and I know I would. But they're going to try to get closer. Please tackle somebody inbounds here. What do we got? 4-man rush, time for Sermons. Lofts it out of bounds. 8 seconds left. Sermons smoked on the play, and now 6 seconds left. How are you not kicking right here? Unless this isn't the Hail Mary formation, though. Not at all. 4 seconds left. Sermons lets it fly. I guess it is a Hail Mary. Incomplete. Tie. We just tied with Cleveland. 34 to 34. So I guess it slightly benefits both of us. I don't know, guys. It kind of feels like I'm coming up with a speedier format for this, and I'm enjoying it. Antoine Sermons just had himself a game. Wow, 390 yards, 4 touchdowns. That was very disappointing to not win that game. But a half win is nice when you're talking about these ties, because now, like, no one's going to be tied with us but Cleveland. So it gives us an edge over Miami and other 8-win teams. We did beat the Falcons the next week, 35-17. Lashley throws 4 touchdowns. We play a more complete game, it would appear. Big day for Dom Roberts. 2 scores for Hayward, giving him a 10-touchdown season in the year he replaces Bud Cage. So that puts us in the 6th spot. The problem is that you still have teams like Miami that are in the 9th position with the same amount of wins. So next up, we get another massive game against Cincinnati. I think Pittsburgh has this game in hand. Great performance. We're going to win this game 26-7, getting to 10-5-1. I expected maybe we'd have something to watch from this game and a closer game late, but that's not the case. The defense was outstanding. Dom Roberts, 123 and a touchdown. Hugh Lewis still catching passes at 6'9" for Cincinnati's offense. You got 1 sack for Donnell Farrell. Kirkpatrick gets so many interceptions, and then Taylor Cook gets 1. I'm excited to check the stats at the end. I think there are going to be a lot of players that look like good signings. And the crazy thing is I'm actually starting to look like I made a good move in drafting A.J. Hayward. Wasn't expecting that. We are in the 6th position with 1 game left. Cleveland is a full game behind us, which means we have to think about a tiebreaker specifically with them. Denver could not pass us up. Cincinnati won't be able to pass us up. So if we've already beat Cleveland, that means, and we lost to them, didn't we? Yeah, we lost badly. So this is actually an important game. 17-14, we have reached the 4th quarter, everybody. Sergio Romero gets a sack, and Philly ties the game. Now, the Ravens are down 10 points in the 4th quarter. If they lose and we win, with 11.5 victories, we would take the division in that case. That's the update I was looking for. So Cleveland is beating the Bengals. So, man, we really need to come out on top here. It's 14-3. I think you chalk that up to a win for the Browns. Steelers at their own 34-yard line, under 9 minutes to go. Lashley gets a short pickup to Dom. Lashley, heavy pressure, finds Roberts for the first down. It's a run to the right with some space. Good pickup for Cole Baldwin. Fake to Baldwin and finding Roberts. He's loose. Brought down near the 20. Steelers out of the eye. Baldwin following Dugans and powering across the 15. It's Fryer following Dugans up the middle. It's goal to go. Lashley still has it and reaches in for the touchdown, Steelers. That was clean. Pittsburgh takes the lead. Sacked by Jonathan Gray. Come on, defense. Y'all can end this. Get us back to the postseason again. 3rd down and 16. Casey Cody on a deep ball is looking downfield, and it's caught. They attacked Rakeem Kemp. 4-man rush. Cody hit. Not a fumble. Marshall on the pressure. From what I've seen, Marshall applies some pretty consistent pressure. Now 3rd down and 9. Can we get to the quarterback? We rush only 3. Cody floats. Incomplete. Catchable ball. Oh. I don't know about this, but they're going to kick a field goal and trust they'll get another chance. Lashley flushed, resets, and finds A.J. Hayward. Breaks a tackle. Hayward's loose. He's running the Steelers all the way to the wild card round. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. What a play from A.J. Hayward. We know he has over 10 touchdowns this year. I think he may now be over 1,000 yards as well. Clay Marshall gets the sack. Let's put this game away. Steelers victorious. They win the Battle of Pennsylvania. And the Steelers will be returning to the postseason again. This was a very different team and a very different season. But it was really fun to see everything come together. Pittsburgh finishes 11-5-1 and are matched up with the Cleveland Browns. The Bengals are left out. We were the 2 seed after winning the division, so no bye. That goes to the Chargers. Cincinnati being the 11th seed with a 9-8 record speaks to the strength of the conference this year. We finished with the number 2 ranked scoring offense, a top 5 running game, and then the number 6 scoring defense, and ranked fairly well both against the pass and against the run with all those changes. I am really happy with that. I was not expecting this team to be quite this good. I think our defense performed extremely well, which makes me wonder why they weren't better when we had more elite talent. Here are the stats. Lashley did not start the season that well, but had 25 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. That is so shocking. He hasn't thrown a pick since week 9. The first 4 games of the year, he had 2 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions. Ends up 25-6. On the ground, Cole Baldwin, 6 touchdowns, 1,120 yards. Lashley ran in a dozen scores, 481 yards rushing, and A.J. Fryer had 231 yards with 4 scores. Ryan Winslow even found the end zone a few times. Dom Roberts, 927 yards receiving. Nobody ended up getting to 1,000, but A.J. Hayward led us in touchdowns. Tony Gonzalez had a good rookie season. Hayward was also our most efficient player, playing less snaps than the other receivers. Antoine Westbrook, not a ton of production here. Does it start to look like we might need a change here at the position? We gave up 40 sacks. That's a lot, but you can do a lot worse. We had a lot of change there. Rakeem Kemp led us in tackles. Sack leader Clay Marshall, 12.5. 7.5 sacks from Gray, Phelps, 4.5 for Romero, 4 for Rod Triplett, 3 for Taylor Cook, 3 for Donnell Farrell. John Trey Kirkpatrick, 6 interceptions, 8 passes broken up. Lashley was the runner-up for MVP this season. Not too bad. Sean Mickens was named top running back once again. Glenn Schmidt was the MVP and led the league in passing. 42 touchdowns also led the league. Matt McAllister led the league in rushing. I remember liking him in the draft a number of years back. He was taken by the Rams. Sean Mickens, number 2. Baldwin, number 3. So Mickens has still outperformed Baldwin, but the trade still made a ton of sense for us. And obviously, with our cap situation this year, it would have been an obvious move to make, either this year or the previous. We see Justin Guerrero had a really big year, and so did Joey Riddick. Both were high draft picks of ours in this series. John Trey Kirkpatrick, 6 interceptions that led the AFC and the entire league. And I just saw there, Malcolm Sands had 4 interceptions. Marquise McLeod had just 16 touchdowns, 11 picks. Tough year for Arizona. Roderick Barber had 7 sacks for the Raiders. Andrew McElroy had 4.5. Clay McDonald had 589 yards receiving, and Bud Cage just 351. Joaquin Castro had 130 tackles, a pick, and a sack and a half. Nick Burnell is on that defense and had 2 interceptions, a sack and a half, and 104 tackles. So it's time for another postseason run in the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise rebuild. This time around, our team looks very different from the others that have made the postseason. I definitely don't think this is our best team we've taken into the playoffs, but every team goes through various transitions, and we still have Freddie Lashley. Now, one thing on my mind is that in the playoff runs we've had with Flash, he hasn't put up spectacular numbers. Even the Super Bowl run, I felt wasn't really the same that we saw during the regular season. But he's now the #1 quarterback in the NFL, and as long as we have him in the game, we're going to have a chance. We've been at our best when the defense shows up in these big games, and after all the lost talent, are we able to still play well against playoff-level competition? There is no Roderick Barber here. Josh Phelps becomes your main pass rusher, and there is Jonathan Gray. This is not a bad pass rush, but it's far from the best we've had. Same with the linebacking core. And here's what we're up against to get underway. The Cleveland Browns. Wow. A 22-year-old superstar quarterback. That changes things when you think about the Browns in this series. Antoine Sermon, second year out of LSU. But it's time to see this latest playoff run with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here are the ranks coming in. We put up a really good offense and defense this season. The defense way better than I would have expected. And after the one and done of last year when Lashley didn't play, I want to see how far this team is prepared to go now in 2038. Oh, and to make things even more interesting, it's a blizzard. Well then, that changes the way this game is played. Does that help or hurt Freddie Lashley? I guess we'll find out. Now, we're not able to see from this camera, remember? That was one of the quirks of this series. With the heavy snow, it made this camera angle essentially unusable. I think we just got a sack on the quarterback. So I'm going to have to be more creative in this one, especially for showing any of our defense, but wow, we're getting gashed. So we're here on defense. It's 3rd down and 10. Not really trying to have an impact on the gameplay. This pass is broken up in the end zone by John Trey Kirkpatrick, who's been our top producing DB this season. So the main thing here is that if I want to watch any of the offense, I'm going to have to actually call plays. I have auto pass on. So we're going to watch it from this angle. Come on, Baldwin. Hitting the backfield, loses 3. Really just using mostly coach suggestions here, and Lashley's going to fire outside. Westbrook slipped, or he might have scored. And of course, in Madden 27, there's going to be the new coach mode features. Ooh, good run off tackle for Fryer. He nearly scores. But I'll have to see when it comes to future rebuild franchises if that affects, the way I want to do them at all. Because the view from the sideline is very cool. You do get some more control out of it. Not sure it's exactly what I'm looking for, as Baldwin wheels outside, scores the touchdown, and the Steelers take the lead. Wow, big touchdown Cleveland. That breaks a tie. There was a 70-yard passing touchdown. Flash battling back, though. We've seen some more big plays from the Simming in here. I feel like his numbers in the passing game are going to be better than most of the playoff games that we've seen. So we're tied in the 3rd quarter. And now, if I want to watch, I'm in control of the play calling, so I can choose if we're kicking, if we're going for it. So how about 4th and inches? And we don't have to go very far. This is going to be a run. 1st down, picked up by Winslow to the 20. Really want to see us get a touchdown on this drive. 3rd down, empty. Lashley scans, takes off. There is a penalty. Good to see he'll scramble on his own there, but we didn't get it and held on the play. And they declined. They're allowing that to stand. So Lashley's going to line up under center, then 4th and inches, and we are going to sneak it ahead. 1st down. Lashley gives, Baldwin weaving left and accelerating his way to the snow-covered end zone. Steelers retake the lead. My muscle memory is still just a default back to slow sim. This is kind of weird. 3rd down, Cleveland. They got to get 10 yards here to extend the drive. Here is Sermon scanning. And he's going to throw it late. We covered everything up. 4th down. Good punt, though. They got us at the 1-yard line. I'm not sure we could be much closer to the end zone without being in it. This is Baldwin getting us the breathing room we were looking for. Lashley back to pass, fires outside, and keeping his balance is Tony Gonzalez. He can fly, accelerating down the sideline and brought down in Cleveland territory. Huge missed tackle, and we're in scoring range. Lashley now met with 3rd down, gets it away. That is a difficult catch. I did not think that was going to be enough. It's Jose Gutierrez. So you're seeing how many of these crucial plays are made by some of these players drafted from just within this episode. A toss now. Dugans throws a key block, and Baldwin gets a few. Lashley throwing. Oh, I think he could have gone up top, and now he takes off, scrambles, he scores! Touchdown, Pittsburgh! Freddie Lashley's trying to take us to the next round. Cleveland manages to get a touchdown, but now we're in the final minutes of the game. They're forced to call their timeouts. A first down here may end the game. If we can have this take 5 seconds and get the first down, it will be over. Lashley, 3rd and 9. Time in the pocket. Throws over the middle to Tony Gonzalez. And now we are in field goal range. I don't think I'm as interested in going for it. I know we have a good kicker. Oh, they outsmarted me because I'm not going to use their kick, but I wanted to slow sim the kick. Instead, they'll go for it and go for the win. I can't see anything, but we just won the game. Caught by A.J. Hayward. Wait a minute. No, we did not catch it. I saw it went to first down and thought that we had finished things off. If it was just this visible, I'd stick to slow sim. The throw was for A.J. Hayward. It was in his hands, and he could not hang on. So hold on a minute here. It ain't done yet. 2 minutes to go. One of the best young quarterbacks in the franchise. Hands off. It's Deron Edwards. And now we're inside 2 minutes. If we can take the ball away, then the game would be over. Fullback dive. Wow. We tried to make a collision there. It didn't work out. So on defense, now I'm just holding L1. I think you can still do that on All Pro the way these series are. On All Madden, you can't. Scrambling under pressure and thrown away. Very heads up. Sermons. He steps left, stumbles, and just heaves it out of bounds. So here is 4th and 3. Game on the line for Cleveland. If they fail, we advance. Sermons facing a blitz, finds his receiver, first down. There are now 45 seconds on the clock. Sermons 33 yards away, hits a big pass at the 17. There's still plenty of time for Cleveland. Sermons facing a 3rd and 10. Swings it out of bounds. He has been throwing the ball away on a lot of these plays where there isn't somebody just wide open for him. And now with 22 seconds left, Steelers again have a chance to slam the door on a division rival. Sermons throws to the defense, and it's picked off. Rakeem Kemp will seal it with the interception. Now tell me why they're just not automatically kneeling it here. There are no timeouts, under 20 seconds left. I don't get the logic sometimes in slow sim. They've always been weird with when they'll kneel down because it doesn't cooperate the same way it does when you're playing the game regularly. Steelers win, though. They're moving on. We make it back to the division round. Huge win for us, and Lashley stepped up. I've wanted to see him play better in the postseason, and he did it in a blizzard. 315 yards, no turnovers. Sermons also had a pretty good game as well. 348 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Cole Baldwin scores 3 times, and our run game was way more productive than theirs was. They didn't even try that hard. And of course, we are set to meet the Las Vegas Raiders again. Here's the bracket. The Chargers take on the 6-seed Ravens, and we get a familiar rival. It's been fun to see this rivalry take off organically in this series. The Raiders have had a really good offense. Their defense is a high overall, but on paper weren't anything special this season. We traded them Sean Mickens, one of the first things that happened in this video, and he is still one of their top players, but torn labrum, we are not going to see Sean Mickens play this game. We should see Demario Elliott. Will he start? I guess I'll have to check the depth chart and make sure. Without Mickens, Jordan Gabriel, are you telling me he's a rookie X-Factor running back? They picked up Rasheem Washington, and they have right tackle Nick Christmas. And of course they have Roderick Barber and Andrew McElroy, who's hurt. Elliott is indeed starting over Nick Sherwood. More snow, but not as much as last time. And Freddie Lashley looks to bring us past our rivals for another AFC Championship game opportunity. We're playing this before the Chargers and the Ravens. Great opening drive, just running down their throats. A.J. Fryer's getting involved. This is like 3 straight plays he's on the field, so a little concern there on Baldwin. We come out of the eye, toss it right. Fryer looking for the edge. He's got it. Flying down the sideline. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. That was a beautiful play. Here come the Raiders now. Demario Elliott's under center, and they put together a really good opening drive. Now, Jonathan Gray gets the sack. Let's see if we can keep him from tying the game up. 3rd down and 9, or 3rd and goal from the 9. A stiff arm extends the play, and Gray picks up his 2nd straight sack to end the drive. We do have Baldwin on the field again. Steelers with multiple tight ends in the game. 2nd and 10. Play action. Lashley, a strike is through the hands of Westbrook. Dom Roberts slot right, 3rd and 10. Lashley gets it away. That's complete. A.J. Hayward, 1st down. Up the middle. What a block. Holy smokes. Clearing the path for Cole Baldwin. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Here's Gafford at left guard. There's no lineman for him to block, so he goes straight to the linebacker and flattens him. We just recovered a fumble on the Raiders' next drive. Turnover inside the red zone. Oh, and then we threw a pick 6. That's not good. And the Raiders have just taken the lead. They got the ball back. Another interception. They've picked off Lashley twice in the 2nd quarter. So now things have swung in the Raiders' favor. They're up by 3 and have the football now in the 3rd. It's Elliott with a great throw to the sideline. Handoff, running inside, hurdling up and over Jordan Gabriel. Fullback motions. They got a lot of pre-snap going on here. 2nd and 3. Backfield, wrap him up. Good job, Phelps. I don't like the matchups there at the top. 3rd down and 5. Raiders looking to throw. Elliott over the middle, wide open. And the Raiders have opened up a 2-score advantage. Lashley's interceptions allowed the Raiders to get back in this game and take control of it. This is 3rd and 11. Lashley fits it into Hayward on a well-timed ball over the middle. Straight ahead and wrapped up this time. Didn't get the same block that we got to spring that touchdown run earlier. Here is 3rd down and 8. Lashley's in the zone, fires over the middle to Westbrook. 1st down. Inside, here's some daylight. Shifty running from Baldwin. Lashley throws down the middle, forcing it to Roberts, and is intercepted again. It's his 3rd pick of the day. And protecting the football has been one of the things he's done at such a high level for most of his career. With Lashley struggling today, is the defense able to pick the team up when they need it? We're approaching the fourth quarter. Raiders driving. Here is the rookie again, up the middle. Stopped at the 11. Gabriel running left. Tracked down at the 5. We really don't want to see them score a touchdown here. It's already a 10-point game. Can we keep them out of the end zone, forcing a field goal try? Elliott turns left, fires on the move. His receiver stumbles, but recovers in time to score the touchdown. The Steelers are in huge trouble. And now it's going to take a perfect rest of the game. Down 17 points. Lashley calls his own number, loses 1. But throwing a third interception when he's in the zone feels like that's a wrap. But there's still time on the clock. Flash from the 29. Wow, could not make anything happen. 3rd and 17, looking over the middle. What a grab by Roberts to save this possession. Empty, Roberts. Should see a lot of targets going his way the rest of this game. Lashley facing the pressure, throws over the middle, and Hayward has the first. Lashley chased by Barber and wrapped up. Barber did not get the sack, but he is the reason it happened. 3rd and 8. Lashley steps up and he hits Gonzalez. That's complete to Gonzalez. We're at the 10. We score a touchdown on this drive, and there is still some hope. On the keeper, Lashley has blocking and now takes on contact inside the 5. We spread the Raider defense out. 3rd and 1. Keeping it, Lashley scores a rushing touchdown to make this a 2-possession game. And now we need 2 stops. Elliott's in trouble, dropping the pass incomplete. Thought we might end up with a fumble on that play. He fakes, throws underneath. It's a good play-action pass and a first down. Plus, they stayed in bounds. For years, we'd count on Roderick Barber in these moments. Who's going to step up if anyone can? Steelers give up a first down into their own territory. Running this inside Gabriel. Man, for 84 speed, sure seems like he has enough juice. And now he's in the zone. 4 minutes to go. Missed tackle there. You got to try harder, Woodson. Come on now. No one wants to tackle a power back in these conditions when he's running this hard. 3.5 minutes left to go. Raiders getting closer to victory. Jordan Gabriel's wrapped up, gain of 3. Now on a screen. Plenty of space. First down and more. Out at the 1 goes Jordan Gabriel. Pittsburgh's last stand with Gabriel in the zone. 2nd and goal. He gets it. Heads right past Phelps to the end zone. And the Raiders score. And look like they're moving on to the AFC title game. Wow. What a player they've got here in Jordan Gabriel. The Steelers' season is just about over. 4th and 10. Lashley will throw it downfield. It is broken up for Dom Roberts. And that is going to be our season. A hard-fought year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they fall short. The Raiders win by 17 in the division round. We had started so strong, and the pick 6 by Lashley got them in the game, and he would turn the ball over 3 times. Lashley has a very bad game, outplayed by DeMario Elliott. Gabriel goes over 100 yards as a rookie. This is a really good Raiders team, and they've come back with some new talent that we had never seen before. Kyle Reynolds had that last interception we saw, and he had a couple passes broken up, 14 tackles. And unfortunately, that is where our run with this team ends. And it's the Las Vegas Raiders who go all the way and take home the title this year. DeMario Elliott is the MVP. Pretty cool, the Saints made it after losing Tyron Ridley. That's very surprising they were able to get back to the Super Bowl so quickly. So this means that another title was won by quite a few former Steelers. We lost a lot of talent because of our current cap situation, and a lot of that talent went right to the Raiders and fueled their championship run. So you go to the legacy leaderboard then, and Roderick Barber is right up there with Myles Garrett. Garrett has no postseason success, but now Barber has 2 rings in 3 Super Bowl appearances. Rasheem Washington, he is at the very top of the center leaderboard. And you'll have Christmas then at the top of the right tackle leaderboard. Freddie Lashley finds himself ranked pretty highly. I mean, everybody above him has significantly more experience in the franchise. That was not a great way for the season to end. I wanted to check on the retirements before we wrapped up this video, though. Clay Marshall does retire. No one else from our roster, but you have Deontay Rushing, 10 years. Careers in this game tend to be shorter than a lot of past Madden games. Jalen Dalton, who I don't think signed with the team this year, ends up retiring. I feel like this was a really fun way to see more of what Freddie Lashley and this team had to offer. We got to the point where Lashley ended up getting at least the 5th-year option. And you see what that means for the team and how much had to change. But we were able to get back to the postseason, put together a respectable run. But this team is not quite what it was for that brief window where we were chasing championships. One last thing I wanted to do today is offer a contract to Freddie Lashley at age 26. This is a 7-year, $550 million offer, and he does sign that extension. Now, that is where today's video is going to end and leave off with this team. Is there more we could do? Certainly. I haven't posted this series in a long time. Madden's about to come out. I don't know if I will do more. I know I'm kind of over the long-term sims because they're just not that fun and the payoff isn't really there for me. And it just ends the series then. It doesn't end the series in a way that I find all that satisfying. If this is where it ends, I'm honestly content. We got to see more of this team and Freddie Lashley and what would happen after the Super Bowl. There is potential for more. I'll see what you guys think. And with me not doing a long-term sim, and this being an offline franchise, the option's always there to see this team again, whether that's soon or down the road. It took longer than it really ever has to find our franchise quarterback in this series, but eventually we did. We got a championship during his rookie season, and I thought we were going to win a 2nd ring. Lashley already has an incredible resume, 5 years into his NFL career. And should we continue, here are the cap hits looking forward. They are even higher than we experienced this season. In case this is the end, I want to go through some numbers at least as we wrap everything up. Joe Book played out a pretty successful career. For a non-first round quarterback, he had 217 touchdowns, 97 interceptions, playing for a few different franchises. Did not actually take the field for us. We never needed him to step into any game action. Cole Baldwin, his story is one of my favorites. You know, I'm always looking at the running back position, and for a guy to break out the way he did in a game that is pretty brutal to lower-rated running backs is awesome to see. He's a very rare success story. Antoine Westbrook, great career. Almost 700 catches, 10 years with our team, 45 touchdowns. Dom Roberts has been very good. He is currently unsigned for the following season. and it might be a challenge to bring him back and make it fit with Lashley's salary. So should I continue, there are more roster challenges to be taken on. Here are the defensive numbers, but much of our core has already changed. Josh Phelps, 49 sacks, is our active leader. And then here are the overall stats in the franchise. The active touchdown pass leader is Nate Batten with the Rams. You've got Cam Ward, Keyshawn Boyd, Marquise McLeod, who could be perhaps done with his playing days. Maybe he's signed to be a backup, but I think his starting days are probably done. And in 5 years after leaving us, he was decent for a few of those seasons, but now probably needs to be a backup for the rest of his career, and he's not making backup money. So the Cardinals are probably going to see some dark days. Bobby Crane, he got us in that Super Bowl. The Packers defeated us earlier, and that was something I did not expect to play out at all. Sean Mickens is the active leading rusher. A lot of great running backs in this series. Tavon Mullins was really good. Evan Lynch, after leaving us, really found his footing in the league. You got Cole Baldwin. Joey Riddick, 1,100 catches, 129 yards. Joey Riddick has a Hall of Fame resume here. And he was only with us for like half the series. Spent a good chunk of years in New Orleans. 218 games played for Emory Jones. 212 for Deshaun Fields. We had some pretty good offensive linemen in this series. Surprised none are really popping up here high on the leaderboard. Kyle Reynolds got a ring here at the end of his career. For the brief playtime in that game, looked really good. Patrick Blackwell, a part of that amazing Jaguars secondary from many years back. Roderick Barber, 153 sacks, absolutely a Hall of Fame caliber player. Patrick Stockton had a great career. You've got Joe Morse, 27 INTs. Nick Burnell got 17. That's pretty good. And then you got to consider Coach Chuck Johnson. It took him a while. Mike Tomlin left. He goes to the Cardinals. Chuck Johnson struggled for many years. A lot of disappointing seasons, but the franchise stuck by him and eventually were rewarded. He ends here with a win percentage of 56.7%, 135 career wins, 7 winning seasons, a 7-6 playoff record, 1-1 in the Super Bowl. Again, not totally sure if this is the last we'll see of this series, but I'm kind of treating it like it could be the end. I'm not sure exactly what the next Madden has in store for us here on the 2 channels. I would like to start a new franchise on the main channel for the first time in a few years if I feel the game is, ready for me to take on a big series like that. So my next Madden project on the channel, I'm not really sure what it's going to be yet. I do want to continue doing rebuild franchises. I just don't know if one's going to be starting here imminently or if I try to do a different style rebuild in the meantime, what my plans will be when Madden comes out. But I will be looking to do more rebuilds like this. I really enjoyed this style of content, and it transformed this channel nearly a decade ago when I began making the Cleveland Browns 0-16 rebuild. So, looking forward to your feedback on this one, with this being a different video and the first in the Steelers franchise for a very long time. I had a really good time putting together, and I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts below. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you all in the next video. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.